I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body.
So hell of a weekend already. Happy Easter to everyone out there. I hope you guys had a much better Easter than I've had so far. And just to make things slightly more compounded, we are short a mic this week, but that's okay.
Not a microphone, a
yeah.
mic person.
we are short a comic relief Crusader. He had to do family stuff. And because what happened with my family today, as we were attempting to celebrate my mother's birthday, my father actually ended up collapsing while getting out of the car. He had a massive drop in his blood pressure, and we essentially spent the entire afternoon in the ER, which was not fun. We've spent a lot of time in the hospital with my parents, most over my mom for the last few years. Like the last 4 years, I think my mom has nearly died 6 times.
Holy crap.
Whether massive heart attacks or stroke or something like that. And then my dad will have an episode every now and then, but this was the first major episode he's had in quite some time. So that was fun. I mean, we were literally on our way to the restaurant to meet them. You know, we live roughly 5 minutes from where we were going. They were driving much further. They were already there ahead of us. And then my mom calls us, "Where are you? How long to get here?" It's like, "Your dad just collapsed in the parking lot and all this other stuff. I called an ambulance." I'm like, what the fuck is going on? It's just like, and then we get there right after the ambulance and fire truck showed up. And, you know, luckily there were some nice strangers just happened to be right there. I mean, it's a really busy little kind of boardwalky area on the lake. And so at least some kind strangers helped my dad. Tried to get him to his feet, and then he passed out again. But they stuck with him until the ambulance arrived, at least. So that's good. Unfortunately, we don't really have any answers. The doctor did look him over. At least the immediate physician looked him over. His own doctor is going to weigh in, who just coincidentally works at that hospital too. It's not a coincidence. It's just much easier to put all their doctors in one place finally. And then, so he's staying overnight. They're keeping an eye on him, though. He was doing significantly better while there. And the doctor even said, he's like, sometimes this shit just happens. It's like, look, he's got a laundry list of issues, you know, all pertaining with his heart and stuff like that. So, and he's 89, or he will be 89 this year.
Which is kicking ass to begin with. Even if you were healthy, 89 is a good shot.
Exactly. So, you know, shout out to the old man. He's still trying, you know.
Papa Shoky.
He was definitely taking a lot of naps though. Like he was just sleeping the whole time we were there. But I mean, he couldn't get out of the bed or anything. So I mean, this is like, might as well just sleep, you know.
We allowed gallows humor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when he finally got up, did you shout, "He is risen"?
No, because he never got up.
Just because today. Just because it's today.
No, but I did feel a lot of irony looking around Facebook while we're sitting there. Just thinking, it's like, well, not quite. Like, but no, he's okay. But it does.
I'm glad to hear that.
It does make me think a lot about mortality and stuff like that. And just to be very truthful here, because I never want to lie to anybody. I don't want to bullshit anybody. I don't want to live that long. I'm not gonna bullshit you. It's like, I don't want to make it to 89. If I make it to 65 and I'm still mostly functional and have had a decent life by then, I'm kind of good with just popping over to Europe and hitting one of them suicide booths, you know, just kind of
okay, Bender.
You know, those exist, right? They actually I forgot which country it is. It's not Sweden. I think it's one of those over there. Maybe it's Switzerland.
Probably Amsterdam. Like, it's you get high and go kill yourself in the same city.
Something. I mean, like, apparently it's a really peaceful one where, you know, not to be too gruesome about it, but, you know, I think it's just they basically pump it full of carbon monoxide so you kind of go out happy and feeling warm and just fall asleep. So I think that, like, I've always thought this too.
I would never go that way for personal historical reasons.
And like I said, it's not for everybody, but I feel like if I ever reach a point where I think I'm probably going to be a burden on people, but I can choose my own way out, you know, I'm going to be like, well, I can keep kicking for 20 some odd years and then just have problem after problem after problem after problem. But my family's good. I've had a decent life. Just basically chunk deuce. Yeah, just chunk deuce and be like, hey, yo, we can Like, let's have one last good get together, and I'm gonna be in the booth.
Go.
What?
Mine's a 3-part. As long as my kids, my family, my wife, everybody's okay.
Yeah.
Like they're set up and they're doing their thing. That's good. If my pecker doesn't work anymore, or if I have to be in fucking diapers all the time.
I said
Any
the
of those
same
three
thing.
things, those are my 3 things.
Yep.
If any of those fail, time to go.
So I even said that, because the wife and I talked about this not long ago, like a couple weekends ago, when we were just, we've been going through some stuff. So I even said this. I'm like, look, if I'm in a situation where I'm very non-functional, like say I'm paralyzed from the neck down, I don't really need to stick around that long, realistically. Let everybody.
They're not ever going to fix that. There's no medical.
Yeah.
They're not making any strides that are going to fix that.
If Elon's Neuralink can fix that, maybe I might have to jump in on the Neuralink for that, depending on my age. But like, if I've had an okay life and then tragedy strikes and I'm not going to have an okay life from there on out, I'm kind of okay with it. Like,
if I became a bigger drain on my kids and my wife, I was going to affect their ability to have a good life. I think is when it's time.
I always said, if I can't wipe my own ass, it's like, if I can't jerk off,
wipe my own ass. Who does that?
Hold on. Shout out to Joe on the last Nerd Rage.
Yeah.
Also, I have to ask now, as a complete non sequitur, Ricky, sitting, are you a leaner or a stander?
So I had this conversation I actually went into the Nerd Rage group chat.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have a theory that it's a height thing, because I am also a stander.
Okay.
Chris and I are both really tall guys. Chris got me by like an inch or two. We're both pretty tall dudes. So I told them, I don't know, some paraphrasing. I was like, don't you judge us, you vertically challenged side leaners.
Fuck off.
Some shit like that.
Fuck off.
But I think it has to do with a height thing. Like,
that's a good theory.
Further down to have to fucking reach and get the thing.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny about it is, for those who don't know what we're talking about, it came up in a questionnaire on Nerd Rage not long ago. By the way, if you want to send questions to our show, you can do so at NowYouMadeItAwkward@gmail.com. It's down in the description below. So somebody, I forget who it was who brought it up. It might have been Billings, or was it Matt H? I don't remember. But
I think it was Billings. Sounds like a Billings question.
It sounds like a Billings question. But they asked, because it had never come up before, because apparently he is a stander and didn't realize that everyone else in his family was a leaner, because he kept having to fix the toilet seat.
Yeah, because it was tilted to the side.
It was scooching. Yep, exactly. Yeah. And as someone
it was Billings.
Yeah. As someone who has had to fix toilet seats a lot, I completely understand for that exact reason. And by the way, yes, everyone does have a side leaning preference. Usually it's your dominant hand is the opposite side that you lean to, because you're not going to go the other way unless you absolutely have to, because it's just awkward. But either way, it's an interesting idea that it might be height related, because this conversation was not foreign to me at all, because our local radio station brought it up a long time ago, because he also made that discovery, because he is a stander and always has been. And he's like 6'3", 6'4". So that might be something to it, because everyone else was a leaner and everybody thinks he's a weirdo. And I tried it. I'm not going to lie, because once you hear about it, you want to give it a try for the most part. And
you tried leaning, or you tried standing?
I am a leaner. So I tried standing once, and I'm like, I don't like this. It feels weird.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'11" on a good day.
5'11", yeah. I'm almost 6'4".
No,
so
just fucking
no, I'm just saying it's a height thing, because I think I want to say Bobby's about your height, and
yeah,
Joe's
Bobby and
I
think Bobby's got just a little bit on me, but
he's just a hair taller than you.
Yeah,
you making bald jokes now?
Well, in that case, I'm taller than him.
You're a hair shorter.
No, I'm a hair taller. But no, I think Bobby and I are roughly the same height, just depending if he's wearing his Timberlands or not.
Yeah, depends on what he's wearing, right?
Yeah. Apparently, my wife is getting shorter though. I had this realization. So I was wearing my flip flops, and she was barefoot, and I'm like this much taller than her. I was like, baby, you're getting shorter. She's like, yes, I am. I'm like, well, stop it. Just get taller. It's fine. Do some
Wait
inversion
for a
table.
few years for you to be able to throw her in one of those Swedish little kitty backpacks where they have like toddlers in them and stuff.
No.
You just throw her up in one of those and carry her around.
Not to be too mean about it. She's getting shorter, not lighter. But same for me. I'm getting shorter and I'm not getting any lighter.
Ricky's not even getting into that conversation with you.
Hey, look,
smart man. I'm
getting wider.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, which is also why, like, I compacted my spine at work, so I actually am shorter than I used to be. So I had a slip and fall accident and compressed my spine a bit, so I am technically shorter than I used to be. So, but that's what happens.
People don't realize that, but weight does do that to you. Like I know,
well, yeah,
I used to be way heavier than I am now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like 300 pounds heavier than I am now. And when I
300
lost all that
pounds
weight,
heavier, or you were 300 pounds
heavier.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, and now like I ended up gaining back like an inch and some change when I lost that weight.
Your spine curves.
Yep, and it compresses too.
And you hunch.
As you take that weight off, and your muscles readjust and stuff. It stretches you back out.
Yeah, and also you hunch a lot more when you're a bigger person. I just know this.
So if I keep losing weight, I'll just keep getting like I'm not gonna get like crazy tall, but I could gain up to another ½ inch to an inch in height.
Exactly. Let me get in comments. Oh, okay. Those are nice people commenting on prayers and stuff. That's what I'm getting. Okay, so that's fine. Speaking of which, I need to pull up my show notes. But guys, yeah, that's just been what's been going on over here, and also just a random pooping conversation. Because you know what, we don't care about shit talk around here. We are adults.
Pops going to the hospital to do you lean and wipe or stand and wipe?
Yep. Well, you got to think about it. You know, if he can't get to the toilet, he's gonna have to have a nice nurse help him. So it is what it is. Also, there were some very nice looking nurses in this hospital, both male and female. So that's pretty good. Actually, the doctor who came in and saw us, he was a foreign guy. I don't know what his accent was exactly. Maybe Polish or something. I couldn't tell. Not a bad looking dude, even though he had a mask on.
Yeah. We went to the hospital one time, not the hospital, the doctor's office with my wife. And this doctor came in and he talked to her or whatever, and he left. And I told her, I was like, you can't have him as your doctor. She's like, why not? I'm like, that dude's way too good looking and makes way too much fucking money. He's not allowed to touch you, look at you, nothing. You need a change.
Yeah, that's that's when you take your doctor to the guy, or you take your wife to the gynecologist, and you see like, okay, I need the shortest, ugliest female here. It's like not that sick, not the 6'7" Jack dude with a nice tan. With the big hands.
Carry around $100 bills wrapped around his fucking muscles. Y'all need to relax with that shit.
And he's got huge fingers. It's like, nope. Get up out of there. No sir. No sir. No sir. All right, guys. So welcome back to the Now You Made It Awkward podcast, episode 7. I am, of course, Shoky. And you can follow me at all the SHOKY and SHOKY reviews related things linked in the description down below. And Mike is not with us because he's doing family stuff, so it's just going to be me and the Rickster over here. But you can follow him at all the Comic Relief Crusader stuff, as well as freelance graphics with a K. You can decide where the K goes if you want to buy shit from Mike. But he has been working thoroughly on drawing and stuff like that, so he has continued along those lines. And then, of course, Ricky over here.
Yeah, it's Ricky. You can, I guess, see me on the Nerd Rage promo. Well, you won't see me, but I help do the Nerd Rage promos, so get over there and listen to Nerd Rage Radio.
Are the promos only on Facebook, or are they on YouTube as well?
He only puts them on Facebook. I think he might put them on Instagram. I don't go on my IG at all.
Oh, they are on IG. Yes, so he does do them on IG too. So yeah.
So he does them in there too.
Yeah.
I just turn them in, and 9 times out of 10, I don't even know when he's going to use them. They just pop up in my feed. I'm like, oh hey, I made that one.
Yep, exactly. So if you want
to,
if you're following Nerd Rage and you see the promos put out usually a day or two after, usually because it's like a reminder to go watch the episode, not this episode's coming.
The midweek. You know, he does them. I think they release on Thursdays. So like either Saturday night or Sunday night, he drops the promo to remind you of the previous week's one.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea to bring more attention back to it instead of using it to promote it ahead of time. Because it's a good teaser as well. That's the funny thing. And because I don't listen on Thursday, I'll sometimes see your promo before I get a chance to listen to it. So it is a teaser for me.
He's got a couple things going for that. You know, he releases it. But then he also has a static where he'll do like a photo collage of stuff that they talk about.
Yeah,
and it just has a blurb. Hey, check out this episode. And he'll release that on like Friday or Saturday to just remind people that, hey, the thing dropped on Thursday. And then So I'm guessing Sunday or Monday is when he'll drop my promo that'll midweek bump everybody. Hey, it's still there. We're going to be putting our new one out in a couple of days, so you might want to get back and check it out.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I actually did the same thing last week with the promo shots. So I put up, Halo and stuff like that, and then a couple anime things that we did. And then also for our extra episode, which a lot of people watched apparently. So we picked up a lot of views just on that extra episode. On YouTube alone. Like on YouTube, we actually got plenty of views. Guys, by the way, if you are watching on YouTube, please subscribe to this channel. We need all the subscriptions we can get. However, if you're listening on Podbean or any other thing like that, Spotify, Audible, Google, or Apple, give us a rating, 5 stars or whatever. You can leave comments. I should be able to see them if you do. Or like I said, if you want to contact us and tell us anything, by all means, send it to the Gmail account. Once again, all of the things are linked down below, both in the audio format and the video format. I could technically actually shorten my work by just uploading it to Podbean and letting it export it as a video to YouTube, but I actually kind of like doing it separate. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Even though
you're a masochist.
I guess, I feel like actually having a 2.5 hour export.
Yeah,
it's not that bad, because there's no video.
Talking about that bonus episode, I got some feedback from Matt H. Beansy, for most people who know him. He hit me up, said he really enjoyed the conversation, so there's good points made and stuff. And so a couple of people in that group chat that I'm with him were like, well, what are y'all talking about? So I ended up sharing it in there, and those people went back and watched it.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, that was a really good, so people really dug that little Star Wars kind of Hollywood Mary Sue conversation. They actually enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, I knew it was going to be a decent thing. Like even Bobby. Speaking of which, Bobby gave us a shout out very clumsily, but he managed it. So if you listen to the last episode of Nerd Rage, we did get a very minor shout out right at the end from Bobby. He's like, Shoky's new podcast. I should probably look up what the name is or what the. It's like,
he dropped out and went and looked it up.
He did. I guarantee you, while he's talking, he's pulling it up on his phone to go look into his Apple. He's looking at his iTunes to see the thing he just listened to. And then Joe,
it's appreciated.
And then
with
Joe,
all the stuff that he does, that he even took time for it.
Yeah,
so.
Well, he was interested when I mentioned, because I'd already talked to him about it, and then of course you're talking to him all the time too. So once I told him you were basically becoming a new member of the podcast, he was definitely interested in that. But I doubt he'll be a weekly listener, but if it's a cool topic, I'm sure he'll jump in on it. But he's subscribed now, so hi Bobby, if you hear us.
And so Joe and Chris, go hit subscribe and join up. You guys listen too. No excuses.
No excuses.
The 3 of you guys will triple our normal subscription rate. So
no, we need the Velocithirster to jump in.
You're gonna get Phil on it. I'll get Phil on it. What do they call him? The Sarah.
I don't know.
I don't know. Blaster went nuts. He had a whole list of shit.
Why did nobody say Thirstosaurus Rex? Because that totally makes more sense.
That might have been in there somewhere.
No, it wasn't. I was sitting there, Thirstosaurus. Come on, it's right there. It's right there. For those who don't know, go listen to the last couple weeks of Nerd Rage. It comes up a few times.
It was this past week's was the one.
Well, it was Esteban. It was, Blaster said that, but the previous comment was from 2 weeks ago. That was actually 3 weeks ago. And it was an audio thing that was sent to him, and I think it was Esteban. I can't remember who it was.
It was Blaster. Anyway. Blaster always sends.
No. I'm saying the person who brought it up the first time actually saying that about him was 3 or 4 weeks ago. But you got to remember, I listened to almost a week off from them, so it doesn't matter. Either way, we spend a lot of time talking about Nerd Rage.
A lot of them blur together because I actually just did a big run. I actually started back at episode 1 and worked my way all the way forward. It took me almost a year. Yeah, I finally caught up to present time.
You're the only insane person who has managed that.
I even made a little video and sent it to the Nerd Rage group so they could of me scrolling, showing them how I'd watched them all with the Rocky music playing in the background.
That should have been a promo. That should have been the whole promo video. Bobby should send you an award for that.
No,
I'm just making the joke. I'm just making the joke. It'd be funny.
But the reason why
it should be.
I brought that up as a blur because they'll ask me Chris or Joe or Bobby will particularly say, "Hey, do you think you could put such and such together?" And that means I have to go back and listen to older episodes. Like right now, Chris has got me on a homework assignment, and I'm having to go back pretty much to when he first joined Nerd Rage, which was like episode 200, 205, like somewhere in that general areas where he kind of dropped in full time. And I have to start there and work my way back again. And Bobby's like, "You're fucking crazy, dude. You're gonna listen to it all again." I'm like, I told him I would do it. I'm not gonna tell him I'm gonna do it and be like, "Nah, it's too hard. I give up. It's too much to listen to you guys talking about stuff that I enjoy and have fun doing it. Fuck you guys. I can't do it." Of course, I'm gonna do it.
What you should do, since you're on this new project, you need to archive a few things, or at least make certain notes. Be like, okay, so this is this. So if somebody comes to you and be like, "Hey, we need to figure out where this was," you can literally go back in your notes.
I've been paying attention to that. Like when they're big running, I've noticed big running overarching gags. I'll jot down a note. I have a notebook. I jot down a little notebook with like a blurb of what it is and just put a couple episode numbers with it.
You're gonna be the NRR archivist.
Yeah, right.
The NR archivist.
Like, where was that one time where Bobby said theater correctly?
Never.
And I'll be able to name the exact moment.
Episode one.
No, like it was episode 7, 2 hours, 15 minutes, and 37 seconds. He immediately sneezed and changed it back to theater.
Yeah, he sneezed and it suddenly was different from there on out. All right. So enough about someone else's podcast. Let's actually talk about our own. Also, we do have merch available in the links down below. So if you do want to do that, by the way, I ordered a coffee cup. So next week, hopefully, I'll be drinking out of...
You're going to drink out of our own coffee cup?
I'm going to drink out of an actual Naimia coffee cup. I actually have a few of my own coffee cups, not going to lie. I do have some of my own artwork.
Did you say Naimia?
It is Naimia as
Don't make me unfriend you.
It's a fucking acronym. It worked out that it's an acronym. It's shut up. That's what I do.
Acronym. You have to say it. If that's what you made the Gmail, you have to say it from beginning to end every time.
Well, the reason I can do that as a short thing is because our short bonus episodes are Naimia bonus. So because it's not a full thing, it's shortened.
So you can call those Naimia.
Yeah, either way. So it's a coffee cup. So, but I do have some of my own artwork hung up that is available in my store. So in my bathroom, I actually do have both my my Devi joke thing, where it's my Toy World Devastator holding my New Age reflector, doing the Killing Joke cover. Gotcha. And then I also have my what's his name? Admiral Akbar doing the double Sufi. And it says "fuck your empire," and it has the rebel symbol for the U.
Nice.
So that's actually really cool, and I just like that. I was like, that just came to me while I was in the middle of the review of Admiral Akbar. I was like, he's literally fucking throwing the finger, double finger, because they have 2 middle fingers. I was like, oh, I'm doing this. And he's actually, what you can't see in the picture is he has a gun behind his back in his other hand. So he's literally like, fuck you, come and get it. And then like he's going to pull the gun out and shoot.
Got a gun ready.
Yeah, so nice. I just like that one. So a shameless promo for the SHOKY store as well. So that is available. It's all under the SHOKY store. So you can go do that if you're remotely interested. We do have hoodies,
I can take a
t-shirts, and other
pen
things.
And paper and scribble a crappy doodle I'll give you. You can put on there too. It can be a one-off Rikki original.
Shit. No, you can sell that yourself.
It'll look like your special needs cousin in the mountains drew it for you while they were blind drunk one day.
No, what you do is you draw something really crappy and then you put it into a 3D renderer thing, so it'll actually turn into some kind of crazy looking 3-dimensional bullshit thing.
Like how all these singers do with the auto tuner.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so enough of all that. So we already talked about my day so far, but how was your fucking week?
It was pretty good. Worked a lot, of course, per usual. Got some stuff in the mail. I got a friend of mine, Chuck, up in New Jersey, helped me secure a Ace McDuck 2-pack for the animated turtles.
I was gonna say I could have snagged that for you. They had it here.
Yeah, well, I've been hunting for it. It's been a hole in my collection.
If I knew that, we get decent NECA distribution here, so, and especially since Holothon, they just literally threw everything on the shelf. So nice. They've had all the latest 2-packs.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't have it, like this is he'd posted it in a group message that we're all in, and I was like, hey,
group message,
is this you still there? Can you pick this up and grab it? He's like, yeah, and I was like, cool, PayPal, boom, send him money. He sent it to me.
Yep.
So I appreciate him for doing that. He got it to me from Jersey, so it has that fresh Jersey air packed inside the package with it.
You could feel the smog.
Yeah, you can still smell the 3 Mile Island on it.
It killed some mosquitoes when you open the box. They're like,
it just morphed them even worse. They're just worse now. They're Hulk-sized mosquitoes.
Exactly.
I got something else too, and I'm brain farting on what it was. I can't remember, so it wasn't something.
I just assume
unimportant.
I just assume it's Batman or Soundwave.
Nope and nope. So you'd assume wrong.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I'll remember by next week if I remember it all. But let's see. Watched some TV with the wife. Started a new show called Ghosts. I'm actually enjoying it. It's pretty funny. It's on Paramount Plus. It's a comedy show. They're like 20-minute episodes. This couple is going to open up a bed and breakfast in a house that she inherited, like in upstate New York.
Yeah.
And the house is all haunted.
I figured that part. Context.
She bangs her head or something. She falls and bangs her head. Now she has the ability to see the ghosts.
Of course, yeah.
And it's like all the shenanigans that happen now that she can see and interact with them and stuff.
I was going to say, is this like
some
pushing
of
up
daisies?
Funny.
Yeah, some of it's pretty funny. Like there's some parts that make me laugh really hard. There's one character in there I can't stand her. I don't know if it's the overdoing of it. She's like a flapper, like a 30s flapper, 20s flapper.
Oh, one of the ghosts. Okay.
Yeah, and like I can't tell if it's her voice, like how she's purposely trying to do that kind of flapper sounding voice, or whether it's just the writing of that character. I just don't like her. Like I'm like, y'all need to get rid of her. She's garbage.
I'm sure they'll get right on that, Ricky.
Yeah, but the rest of them are pretty funny. Like, and it's just funny to see the interactions. Like,
you keep talking. I gotta pause.
You want me to keep going? They when they died is kind of where they're. How I'm gonna phrase this. So, like, one guy died in the 90s. He remembered seeing Ghostbusters, so he knew the movie. One guy died in the early 80s, had never seen Ghostbusters, didn't know what he was talking about. So they kind of have their memories from when they died and before. And so they start talking about the movie Ghost because they can see TV now. Like they can watch, somebody's watching it, they can see it and pick up new memories and stuff. And they had this whole episode where it's like, I was trying not to laugh because it's so juvenile, but it was hilarious. The older people, like from the Victorian eras and earlier, that were still there as ghosts, when they say that when spirits are stuck here on Earth, if they fix whatever thing that was wrong in their life, that's what'll help the spirit pass over to the next realm or whatever. Well, they call it like the bright light will open up over their head and their spirits will get taken away. They call it getting sucked off. So they're like, oh, we all want him to get sucked off. And the other one's like, yeah, he's a big guy. We'd love to see him get sucked off. Oh, he's so sweet and he's so nice. It'd be great to see him get sucked off. And the modern people that can, the wife that can see them and stuff, she's like, are you guys really sure that's the phrase you want to use? Like, that's, you guys kind of all got together and agreed on saying sucked off. And like, I don't know why, to me, it just cracked me up the way they were using it. So that's a new show my wife and I started watching. I think last night we watched the first time, and we've burned through a few episodes. So it's pretty funny. Let's see what else. Oh, I watched a couple. We watched like 3 or 4 of the episodes of Is That Cake, the one that you were talking about a couple weeks ago. I told her about it, and we went and found it.
What was that? Sorry.
I was saying that my wife and I have watched like 3 or 4 of the episodes of Is That Cake?
Oh, Is It Cake?
You were talking about a couple weeks ago.
Was I right?
Like,
it's addictive.
Yeah, like we went and looked it up.
It's stupid.
It's all right.
It's stupid and fun, isn't it?
Yeah. It's all right. It's a good time waster while we're eating dinner, just chilling
and it's quick too. They're not full hour episodes like the other things. But that's why I said when you finish with that one, go watch the one where they're doing like the bacon earring stuff. But I forgot.
Gotcha.
Baking Impossible.
Baking Impossible.
Yeah, it'll be suggested.
Yeah, so we watched a couple of those episodes. Like right now, we're watching Ghost, because what we'll do is when we run out of our shows to watch, that's when I'll start. Hey, so and so said we should check this show out. And we'll go check that out. And that one popped up because my youngest loves cooking shows.
Dude, there's some good ones out there. I mean, I watch a lot of cooking related content.
He watches a lot of them. He wants to get in the kitchen and help me cook all the time. Like he's always in there helping me cook. And like I brought him to my job one time and showed him the kitchen, and he practically had my boss okaying at the time he was 8.5,
Yeah.
letting him okaying him helping me in the kitchen. Like he was like, he started begging at first, and they're like, nah, you can't do it, you're a child, and da 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 da. He's like, but it'll just be for me, and I know how to do this. Like he started nailing off, like he'd wear the cut knife, he'd do this, or the cut glove, and he'd do this, this, and this, and he started listing off all the stuff he would do and how he would do it and stuff. And my boss just looked at me, and I'm like, don't blame me, blame Gordon Ramsay. He watches that stuff on TV, man.
Does he ever watch? Does he ever watch Binging with Babish on YouTube?
No, he watches MasterChef Junior.
Okay, so he's watching the proper like TV. But if you allow him on YouTube and stuff like that, I suggest Binging with Babish, because he's a non-technically trained chef. He learned in the kitchen with his mom, and then he thought it would just be funny to start creating recipes from TV shows. So like, and he started with like stuff from Frasier, Seinfeld, things like that. And then also Joshua Weissman, who is actually a fully trained chef. He's an executive chef and stuff like that. Came from Austin, Texas, and then kind of moved around and everything else like that. Now he's actually based out of Houston. He's got a really good cookbook that I want to pick up. But I like watching him. One, he's funny, but he's also very educational. But he also does things like he's got a segment called But Better. So he'll go buy food from whatever restaurant and then put together a homemade recipe that's
but better.
There you go. But he also does but cheaper as well. So they're like, look, if you buy it, you can store buy it for this much, or you can get all the ingredients and you could parse it out and it will be equal to this amount for the same thing. So like $2 massive sandwiches or something like that. And then sometimes he'll just be like, okay, we're going to blow this out and make the most expensive thing we can possibly make, but still make it good. But, you know, he gives you the recipes. He shows you. His editing is just silly. Like he's just a silly dude in general. And he also did a challenge before COVID where he spent 24 hours in a restaurant in the kitchen. So he started at like 10 p.m., like shut down from the night before, and he worked till 10 p.m. the next night. So that's cleaning from the night before, all the stuff overnight, whatever that might be, cleaning the whole restaurant, shit like that. All the prep work in the morning, cooking a full lunch and dinner shift, and then clean up again.
Breakdown.
Without really sleeping. Like he took like he was allowed like a 1 or 2 hour nap at like midnight. And then that was it. It was crazy. Filmed the whole thing. It was fun. But if remotely interested to give a different take on that kind of thing, and then, of course, anything going on with First We Feast on YouTube as well, where they just have tons of food-related content. Munchies as well, where you get some very interesting chefs and stuff like that, because it's called Munchies, so you could tell where it's going. But you get...
So I should definitely let my 9-year-old watch that.
Well, they're not doing anything inappropriate by any means, but they're adult about it, and they do... I mean, it's a big deal. Like, Munchies is based out of an actual like test kitchen type situation in New York, where they actually just will let people come in and do what they want to do to make recipes and stuff like that. And they have like a somewhat attached restaurant, but otherwise it's also a studio kitchen, so they can record what they're doing and stuff like that. So if they want to have on guest chefs, they can just come in and play, or it's just a place where people can come in and mess around or learn to cook a little bit, from other people. So I mean, it's pretty cool setup they have, and I think it's Munchies is technically part of the Vice network, if I remember correctly. So they got some Vice money, at least old school Vice money backing them. But either way, interesting cooking content that's a little bit different, very different takes on stuff. So, and it's on YouTube, so it's generally family friendly.
Gotcha.
But that's cool though.
Do that with him, and then what else? We'll get into it. I saw Moon Knight.
Yep.
And the new episode, and I saw the new Halo episode. Ugh.
Okay, so give me your quick thoughts on the episode 4
on Halo.
Yeah. Are you done with it yet?
I mean, I'm gonna make it through, just because again, it's something. Something is better than nothing, but it's.
But how many more episodes do you really have in it?
Like, I've held out the hope that somehow they'll pull this back and make it more Halo. There's no coming back from this episode. Episode's just
Did episode 2 just kind of diverge too hard, and you're just like, there's no way?
2 went off rails. 3 took it a little further, like the changes with Cortana and everything. I'm like, okay, but it could still end up being enough of Halo that I'll enjoy it. This fourth one, no, it's done. It'll never be a Halo I'll enjoy like as I do with the other Halo stuff. It'll just be called Halo.
So if you were gonna rank the show using one of the games as your benchmark, which game would the show be? So the games, however you have them ranked in your own head, is your ranking system. Where would the show be equal to?
What would you consider the worst Halo game ever made?
Well, that's what I'm getting at with you.
I'm asking you, what would you consider the worst Halo ever made?
Out of the ones I've played,
like Halo Wars 2 or something?
Well, because I never played 2, or if I did, I only played it briefly, like maybe the test version of it, not the because I had Halo Wars 1, and I thought I started Halo Wars 2, but I clearly never owned it, so
beta or something.
Might have. I would say the actual worst one would be 4, maybe. Just because it's a little twisted.
Such a divergent from the original.
Yeah, I think because they needed to take it in a wholly new direction. That's the only one I say would be the worst.
Stuff to 343 stuff.
Yeah, so I think once you've completely abandoned Bungie, that's where I'm out on that.
I don't even know if I can rank it like. Let me put it to you like this.
Yeah,
I would rather sit down and watch Bat Nipples and Episode 9 back to back than I would rather sit here and watch this whole thing in a binge watch.
Yeah.
I'm going to finish watching it because of my OCD, but I'll never watch it again.
So, as a quick aside, though, what would be your Halo game rankings? Like, where do you have, what order do you have the games in ranking-wise?
See, I didn't hate 4 like most people did.
I didn't hate it. I just said it's the worst, of my opinion.
I would go 3, 2, 1.
Are we going down or are we going up? Hold on. Wait, are we starting at the bottom and going up?
No, this is from number 1
Top.
down.
Okay. That's where you had to start 3, there. All right, gotcha.
3, 2, 1, 4. No. 3, 2, 1, Infinite. Infinite jumped above 4. Might even be above 1. 3, 2, Infinite, 1, 4. And there's what? Like, Infinite's supposed to be 7 or 6?
Infinite would be 6. Of the main storyline.
Guardians is number 5.
Yeah.
Okay, so it goes 3, 2, Infinite, 1, 4, 6, 5.
What about ODST and Reach?
Oh, put in Reach right behind Infinite, and ODST can drop in between 4 and 5.
Okay. Yeah, because you can't leave those out. I mean, they're
because I forget about those.
I don't,
especially Reach. Reach is such a great game.
Reach is good, but I'm actually a big fan of ODST. Like,
didn't dislike it.
I liked that. I know we're always talking. We've talked about Halo for almost 4 weeks straight, realistically, in one way, shape, or form.
It's something new back in the zeitgeist again.
Yeah, it really is. So obviously, I've got all the Xboxes except for the original one and the.
Oh, you got that Nerf gun you're gonna send me?
I'm not sending you the Nerf gun.
Shit.
Fuck you! It costs too much to paint. I could commission one for you. I have a spare.
Cool. I'll send you the apple barrels. What is it, about $5 worth of apple barrels?
Fuck no! I'm using good paint for this shit. That's not fucking apple barrel acrylic paint, man. That thing
came out gorgeous, man.
Yeah, unfortunately,
really good.
Yeah, it is good. Review and build log is on my channel. But I have the Xboxes and the legendary sets from at least the first 4. But I would if I did an overall ranking of the games, I would definitely go 3, 2, ODST, 1, Reach. It's almost backwards storytelling wise. Infinite. 5, then 4.
You liked Guardians better than 4?
Just because 4 was such a dramatic change, and then 5 was just kind of tweaked and made that better. Like, so there now, I'm not throwing wars in the rank either because I'm just going by the shooters.
I don't even remember playing those. I know I played them once upon a time,
they
but
were
I couldn't
good.
tell you anything about those games.
And I played them on, and the cool thing is it was the first real RTS available on the Xbox. So it was a wholly different way to control stuff. If you're used to doing RTS on computer, it was a big change. It was a big change. Now I know that what is it? Red Alert. No, what is it? What was it? Not Call of Duty. What was it called?
Red vs. Blue?
No. This is another RTS type game, but I'm trying to remember what it was called. Red Alert
Command and Conquer?
Yeah, Command & Conquer Red Alert was available on the 64 back in the day, and that was a pain in the ass. StarCraft was on 64, and it was horrible. It's like it was they just ported the first StarCraft there and tried to adapt it to the 64's controller. It didn't work. I tried to.
You had to have a keyboard and mouse for
Yeah,
StarCraft.
it was so bad. It was so bad. But Halo Wars worked, and worked well. And it was fun. I'm not going to lie. The Halo Wars original was fun, and the cutscenes were insanely good. Like the
cutscenes are awesome, but I've never been a big Command and Conquer guy.
Yeah. No, me neither. But my friend
but
had it.
It was fun with Halo though, to sit there and build up those armies and throw them in there and see what would happen. It was fun to do that.
Exactly, especially when you loaded up like an elephant or something like that. You just huge, which made no sense chronologically. It was like, we have an elephant. No, you don't. That doesn't exist yet.
Not at all.
But, okay, so enough of Halo. So continue on with the rest of your watching.
It's all Moon Knight.
Yep.
It was good.
Yep, I agree. It was good. I feel like Mike would hate it though.
I'm still sticking to my theory. I think when it's all said and done, I think Mike's gonna like to watch it all in a binge, like one long movie. I think Mike will appreciate it more than episode by episode.
I think so, but I think it's just what's happening.
Just from talking with Mike, I think that's how he likes it better, like that. Yeah. Like he likes everything all at once. He doesn't like that drawn out stuff.
We'll see. We'll see what happens
when it comes to these types of things, like superhero stuff.
I agree.
He doesn't want the long drawn out stuff.
I think just as a quick aside, without going a full breakdown into it, I thought this was a good episode. I liked that it keeps pushing the story forward, and I liked
it better than 2.
I would say I liked it better than 2 because it introduced more mystery. You know, we get a mysterious extra character somehow, and then we get the now turn of the story a little bit, but then we also got
the Egyptian pantheon shows up and stuff. I mean,
well, some of them did anyways. And then also seeing Khonshu actually use his actual powers, which was awesome. I'm like, we get to see a god being a god, and that's something we don't always get. Like, it's like we get teased like Thor is a god, technically speaking, but he's more or less just a super advanced, strong alien, not necessarily a god. You know, I would say that Odin was more of a god because of the Odin Force, which they just really didn't go into that much. But like we saw Odin pulling off some crazy shit, technically speaking, and then instead of, I don't know, giving his son the Odin Force, he just kind of let it flow back into the universe for some reason. Maybe we'll see that in Love and Thunder, which was, spoilers because some jackass posted the fucking toys in the realm of collectors. What?
Oh yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, Toilers, as it's called now. It's like, oh, cool, yeah. I didn't actually want to know what that character looked like just yet. I knew it was in the movie, but I didn't.
I don't really count that as those aren't spoilers to me.
They are and they aren't. Like
spoilers to me are like,
well,
if you had the Thor toy sitting there holding a Thanos head, and you haven't seen the movie where Thanos died. That's a spoiler.
Remember that Stormbreaker was spoiled to us. We didn't know Stormbreaker was.
That's a spoiler. That's a spoiler.
We didn't know that Gore the God Butcher was going to be in it, and then the Lego set let it go.
What color his clothes are is not a spoiler.
What clothes Thor is wearing is a slight spoiler, but we're not going to get into it.
Just because they fit better.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how that works. I feel like that movie's got a lot of legwork. I think that's going to be another. I think we're just going to run into a new situation where Marvel movies are getting longer and longer because they're compiling too many stories. But we'll see what happens ultimately.
Why do you think they keep pushing real quick? Like built off of this.
Sure.
Everything. At first, it was just seeming to be DC, but Marvel too. Everything's getting pushed back. What the fuck is going on in Hollywood? That it's not just one movie every once in a while. It used to be. I remember like. If a movie got pushed back, it was a huge fucking thing because it didn't happen that often. Now it's like every single fucking movie's pushed back now.
Because the single largest box office country in the world is having a COVID outbreak.
So you think they pushed back all the movies just because of the Chinese money?
Yes. Dude, they just edited the latest Harry Potter verse movie because of China alone.
What do you mean they just edited? The one that's already out in movie theaters?
The one that just dropped this past weekend?
Uh-huh.
They removed very important context from that movie because China doesn't support that lifestyle.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. They de-gayified Dumbledore for the Chinese box office.
Well, first of all, they didn't de-gayify anything because he was never gay in the books. It's just never said he was straight in the books.
People but this was gay. Actually these movies are less than subtly showing that he had a romantic relationship with Grindelwald, and this movie was going to be extremely less obvious about it. You know, so I mean, they were basically, it was going to be said outright in this movie.
Yeah, but how much of that, now therein lies my question, how much of that is pandering though?
That is straight
just
up.
Because the book.
No. They've been building this for a while. They have been building it for a while. That's the thing.
Just in these movies. It's
not pandering because it makes a lot of sense. It's pandering when they don't make it make sense. Having watched these movies,
that's not pandering. Pandering is we're going to make it that way to take a certain part of the populace.
That's what I'm getting at. This has never felt like pandering. Pandering is usually very obvious to me. I've never felt that way with this because,
like, what's her face? The writer Rowling.
J.K. Rowling, yeah.
Like she came out and she's like, "Oh, I always meant for Hermione to be black." Like,
yeah,
really? Then
but you never alluded to that. However,
yeah, why didn't you write that in your book then?
Yeah,
or make it a thing in your book.
I guess because that's the thing that's in her head versus what's on the paper. And the thing is, the Fantastic Beasts stories none of them are written down. This was never from a book.
It was a book named inside of a book.
Yeah, exactly. So this is a meta written thing. But I mean, making this whole story work makes sense because there's people who, because I was watching a review of it and some girls were talking about it, and they completely missed the context of why the blood pact that keeps Grindelwald and Dumbledore from fighting, why that exists or why that's important. And some people are like, I don't even know why that's an important thing. I was like, how the fuck do you know?
Because they loved each other.
It's because they loved each other and they decided to not fight each other to this point. So they literally made a magical blood pact that would not allow them to fight. Now, mind you, that's actually Grindelwald seeing the future when he was a kid, when he first started using his sight. And he saw they were eventually going to fight. And so he actually plays, I mean, this might be spoilers for the movie, but this is stuff that has been worked out even before this movie came about, that he's basically always been playing Dumbledore to keep him from being able to beat him. So he basically manipulated him into the blood pact so that they could never fight because he's the only person strong enough that could have beat him.
Gotcha. And
then now he's at the point where he's trying to keep all the most powerful things to himself so that he can't have anyone else turn against him. But, it's called The Secrets of Dumbledore for a reason. And apparently those secrets are cut out in the Chinese box office. So Hollywood, and this is a...
But they do stuff like that all the time, man.
No, I know, but what I'm getting at is that I think that for giant box office movies that are coming, because it's not the small movies that are getting delayed, it's the big blockbusters that are all getting pushed back by a few weeks. I mean, like, there's like a couple that are only pushed back like a day or two, which really only means they're just avoiding.
I mean, some of these are pushed back by 6 months to a year.
I know. Like, and I think that's got to just be that. There's no reason to push back production schedules right now unless you know something that's coming or something that's already happening. And working around the biggest box office country in the world now, totally makes sense. That's why every major corporation bows to China at this point, because they're the largest everything, because they have the largest population. So that's the only thing that kind of sucks about it. But yes, I think that's what's up with it. So let's get back on track real quick.
Yeah, well, we were talking about that. It's not off track.
I know, but just circling back. We got to circle back to it.
So, haven't seen that yet with the wife. I know she wants to go see it. She's a huge Harry Potter nut. Huge, like,
people do shit on those movies, on the new ones, on the Fantastic Beasts movies, and I enjoy them.
Let me say this about Harry Potter, and I'm gonna be that guy. I don't give a shit.
You can be that guy.
Harry Potter was post my time. Like, the first Harry Potter book, I think, dropped in the US when I was a senior in high school. So it wasn't a my time frame thing.
You old fuck.
I have read all the books. Like when my wife and I first started dating, I bought her the box set so she could have a nice fancy box set of the books.
That is nice.
And I read them all because I'm a bibliophile. I will read just about anything. And so I read them all.
That's the only kind where you, is that where you have to notify your neighbors when you move in?
Yes. That if you have any books, I will be over here to borrow them. That's how that goes.
Can we have that on a sign? That'd be actually really fucking funny.
I want to borrow a cup of sugar. And do you have
the latest Tom Clancy?
Harry Potter. Do you have the latest Tom Clancy that he wrote posthumously? I need the new Tom Clancy, please.
Well, he's like Tupac. He wrote like 75 things before he died that never got put out.
Yeah, they're just getting put out now.
Tom Clancy's the Tupac.
So I read them all.
Now I know what our title episode, the title's going to be.
Tom Clancy and Tupac are BFFs.
Yes.
So I read them all, and I mean they're okay. I mean I've even read the Mockingbird or Mocking thing, the
Hunger Games
with the girl with the boat. Yes, that. I even read those books. Like I'll read anything. My wife has like all the ones, the HBO show with the vampires.
True Blood.
It came out a few years ago. Yes. She has all those books.
Except that's the SHOKY Stackhouse Chronicles, technically.
Yes. I've read all those because I literally ran out of books to read. So I'll go grab her books that she had from before we got together and I'll read them all. So I've read all those, read the Mockingbird ones. I read the Harry Potter. It's not my style. I'm not big in. I don't like movies or books.
It's funny your wife's reading a lot of young adult novels.
Yes. That's what I was trying to tell. I don't like movies or books where they tell me the young adult is the hero. I was like, I don't know what fucking world any of y'all live in, but I remember being a teenager. I'm not going to get up to fucking take the garbage out to the side of the road without bitching about it. I'm sure as fuck not trying to save the world. No teenager I know is going to do that shit. So the stories just don't make sense to me at all. I've read all the Percy, the lightning guy, that had like the Greek and Roman mythology in
Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief and all that nonsense.
I've read those. In fact, I bought this set for my kids because my oldest had a whole class in mythology this year and he really liked it. So I got those for him in a box set so that we can read them like at night and stuff. I'll go in there and read a couple chapters with them and before bed. So I'll read them. I'll read just about anything. As far as the movies go, so the main Harry Potter has what, 8 movies?
8 movies.
And then 8 movies, and then now 3. I'm not going to count the new one because it just came out, and then 2 of the side movies.
Yeah.
So 9 movies to watch. I've only ever stayed awake through one of them, and that was the second one of this off series, the one with Johnny Depp in it.
Mm-hmm. Well, it used to have Johnny Depp in it.
Well, it's still the one that has Johnny Depp in it. I go put it in right now. It's still got Johnny Depp in it.
I know.
But I'm saying that's the only one I've ever stayed awake from beginning to end in is that one. I've fallen asleep in every single other Harry Potter. They are stupidly boring to me. Like I can't stand them. My wife loves them. Her cousin loves them. Like they share pictures with each other about their house did this and this house did that. She made my kids take that online quiz that tells you which Harry Potter your house you're in and all that shit.
I assume she's on Pottermore.
That might be that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sure.
Hey,
if it's Harry Potter, you've got it.
Hey, I did find out. I did go on Pottermore, and I did find out what my Patronus would be and what house I would be sorted into.
Okay. So
just for fun, just for shits and giggles.
Yeah. She did that with my kids, and I watched them, while they were taking it because it was on her phone. They took the little quiz or whatever, and it tells you whichever house you're in. And she's like, "Do you want to do it?" I'm like, "You want me to prove to you how stupid this is?" She's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Tell me which house you want me to be in." And she's like, "Oh, I think you'd be the snake one because you're intelligent." Okay. And then my old
do I got to bring your wife on to have a Harry Potter discussion?
Probably. I can get her out here. She'd be able to tell me all this shit. And my oldest is like, "I think you'll be in the one Harry Potter was in because that's where the heroes are, and you're Batman and da 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 da." So it was that kind of shit that they're all saying, right? And then my wife's like, "Well, I'm the Raven group that because they're highly intelligent and thoughtful and da da da. I think you're pretty intelligent, da, da, all this shit." And I said, no, don't tell me what you think I would be. Tell me which one you want me to be. And so the Pumple Stumps or whatever the other one, The other one
Hufflepuff?
that I did, yeah, that one. She's like, that one. I'm like, okay, cool. I took the quiz, and when it brought up what it was, I turned around and showed it to her, and it was that one. She's like, what? How did you do that? I'm like, okay, pick another house. And she picked another one. And I said, okay, to answer the question, showed it to her. Came up again. She's like, how do you do that? I'm like, just read the fucking answers. They're all loaded.
Uh-oh.
That we would go to Disney and pick them up stuff because the wife loves Harry Potter. So although I'm talking trash about Harry Potter, it's only tongue in cheek. I don't hate anybody that likes Harry Potter. I don't think they're the worst thing. You know, it's just not my cup of tea. It missed me. It's kind of like Pokemon. Like, I know more about Pokemon in the last 6 years than I've ever known in my entire life because my oldest is obsessed with it. And he's like me. He likes stats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so Pokemon is rife for his kind of brain to use. So he loves to go over that shit with me, and it blows his mind because he'll start talking about something. And I'll be like, "Oh, you mean such and such?" And he'll be like, oh, "You know that?" I'm like, "You told me about him, dude. What, you think I ignore you when you talk to me? Of course I know who you're talking about. I couldn't pick him out of a lineup, but I know who you're talking about."
Yeah.
And so I don't hate on anybody for liking the stuff they like. We're all nerds. Fuck the normies.
Yeah.
But it's just not for me. It missed my era. Like, I was too grown for that. Not grown like as in better than, but literally too old for it. I was going out of high school.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Fucking nerds and your stupid shit.
Fucking nerd. But I don't want to scare off, any one or two of our actual full-time listeners by bad mouthing their Harry Potter. And my luck, they'll have all the Trumple Bump fucking tattoos all over their bodies or whatever, and I'll be pissing them off. Okay. So I don't normally play games on my phone. I'm a console guy. Every once in a while, like, I'll get like a wild hair in my ass and download like some kind of trivia game or something. I like to do trivia stuff just to keep my brain moving. But I can't remember what I was on YouTube or something watching I've been on this mafia kick. There's this channel called the Everything Channel. Talks all about the mob and shit, like hours and hours and hours and hours.
Well, that sounds fun.
I've been watching that on YouTube, and one of the commercials popped up was this one called Beat Stars, and it reminded me of Guitar Hero, and I used to be a huge Guitar Hero rock band guy. So it reminded me of that, and I was like, oh, let me fucking try that. And I downloaded that today. I've been playing that for fucking hours today.
Well, you know what's funny is I legitimately talked about this game 3 weeks ago. The episode before you came back, I talked about being obsessed with it as well.
Nice.
So you had you listened to that episode.
Rikki tells on himself for not listening to that episode.
Exactly.
I sure didn't hear it.
Excuse me. Also, quick shout out to Robert D for messaging me just now and checking on me.
No.
So
Robert D is a good guy.
Yeah.
He's a good dude. So I've downloaded that today. I've been playing that all afternoon, waiting for us to get in here, like in between talking with you, finding out what's going on with you, making sure everything was good with Pop, SHOKY, and
and it's a difficult game, by the way. Like it
is. It gets nuts. Don't be lulled. And that's what I had my wife watch me play a few of them because most games, like, let's even start with, like, let's use Guitar Hero as an example.
Exactly.
When you first started Guitar Hero, those first 5 songs were easy. And as you went along, the songs got more and more complicated. Every song starts easy and gets complicated as you go through the song.
Yeah.
By the time you get to the end of the song, there's so many notes and swipes and holds and double taps and triple taps and this, that, and another thing. They just added this new one where it's like the hold for like the whammy bar hold, like for a note. But now it also has an arrow at the end that you have to swipe it off at the very end of it now. Like,
is it bad that I know what song you're talking about because I know the song it was introduced in?
It's getting nuts and nuts and nuts.
Yeah.
So it's fun though. It's super addictive.
It truly is.
Yeah, I'm having a blast with it. And so I did that. I've been doing that this afternoon.
And save your diamonds.
I'm on here.
Save your gems.
I already spent them all. The gems, I already spent them all. I didn't know what they were, and I didn't know what they were for. It's one of those microtransaction games. I want you to buy a bunch of crap, and I'm not that guy. I don't ever do that. I just play it for free. So it might take me forever to work my way through a game, but I'll get there eventually.
It does hit the pay to play part here very quickly. Like, you're at level 6, I'm at level 8. Level 7 realistically has so many stars, and if your songs are burned out, you're gonna take a long time. Like right now, I've got basically my hard songs are the only ones I don't have 5 stars on, and then the extremely hard songs. So I completely understand that part. Back.
But yeah, that's pretty much my week. That's
Yeah.
pretty much been it. I've watched a couple shows and a couple movies here, there, and everywhere, but that's pretty much it.
I will tell you though, on BeatStar, some of the more fun songs for me, once I got better at the game, were the Ariana Grande songs and the Post Malone songs for whatever reason.
Dude, I've never listened to a Post Malone song in my life, but there's this one called Circles on there.
Circles
I
is
like
a
that one.
cool song, dude. It is a cool
I
song
like
in
that
general.
one. And I've never, well, I guess I can't say never. I never knowingly or purposely listened to The Weeknd, but there's a song on there,
Blinding
Brightly
Lights.
Burning or Burning Bright or some crap like that.
Oh, that one.
I love that song. Like because it reminds me of I like old school, like R&B and 80s and stuff like that, and it very much has that feel to me.
Well, have you heard The Weeknd's Blinding Lights?
That it might be that's this one.
Yeah, because that's it's all like totally 80s synth.
Yeah,
the whole time.
It's that.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't have that song because depending on what you unlock, you'll start with the same most of the songs, but like your preferences start leaning at some point, and also if you pick up a wish list. So you can choose your songs and add them to the wish list, and then when you build up your wish list box, you can get those songs ahead of time. So I've got like some Nirvana and stuff like that. I try to lean towards some other rock.
Lithium's in my wish list.
Yep, I've got quite a few. We need to add each other on the friends thing so we can do the competition back and forth on points, because I'm kicking the wife's ass and she's not really playing anymore. But since you're actively playing, we could do that. I wish there was a way you could do a side by side, like you're doing the same song, but you can see the other person. Yeah, so that would be a lot of fun. It is a stupidly addictive game, considering it's only 3 spots on the thing. But random, not really a random question, relevant question. Are you right or left thumb dominant?
For stuff like this, both, because I played musical instruments. I played violin for 7 years, cello for 3. I'm self-taught on the piano and think around on the guitar. So I mean, I don't have like I can do both. But I guess I usually anchor more with my right thumb. Like I don't move it as much. I try to keep it more stationary.
I'm the opposite. My left thumb is the one that I don't move around. So I reach with the right. I mean, I'm right-handed mostly. So I do that. But I mean, I guess in theory, most video games are that way as well. Your right thumb is doing way more than your left thumb generally does. Your left thumb is generally only doing direction, and your right thumb is hitting every other button on the freaking controller.
Well, see, when you actually when you're playing, like I'm right-handed, so when you play guitar, your left hand is the one that's moving. Your right hand just pretty much is going up and down, strumming or picking. So your left hand's the one that's moving. So I'm used to sliding that around and moving and reaching with it.
Well, I mean, I played guitar too, but probably nowhere near as prolific as you did, but I play guitar.
Don't ever get that mixed up. I sat down with a guitar one day and I can pick out like a half a dozen songs. I just play them in my head and I just picked them out on there.
That's beyond me. I had to use tabs to learn half of Metallica songs because I couldn't get too far into it. But I mean, I knew chords and stuff like that. I can keep a rhythm. That's not a problem.
See, you already know better than me. I don't know any chords. I couldn't tell. I know what the strings are. I know how to tune a guitar, and I can pick out a few songs that I know. And if given enough time, I can pick out more songs.
Yeah, I mean, chords are not that hard realistically. It's just
my brother Brandon. He is an amazing guitarist. He has like a band and everything. So, but see, he's good.
I've always thought I'd be good on piano. I've just never tried.
Yeah, piano is the one that I'm self-taught on, because violin is the one that I had the most training on, and I did it for the most years. And it's the same sheet music. Yeah. So I sat down, I learned what the keys were on the piano. Once I learned that, I could just take my violin sheet music, set it on the stand, and play it. Now, it's not the same as if I had piano music in front of me, but you would know which song I was playing.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I mean, sheet music is sheet music, but you do have to write certain instruments different ways.
Yeah, because on piano you're using 2 hands. You have your bass, you have your high side, so you have each bar is set for which hand is doing what.
Exactly.
And then you also have your foot pedals are doing different stuff. Yeah. Whereas on a violin, it's only one hand playing notes. The other one's just string is either pizzicato or playing. You know what I mean?
So, piano is the only instrument that will actually note how many hands it takes to play it in the actual sheet music.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
because like there's some that takes 4 hands. Like the entertainer tells you need to have 4 hands for it.
And it's really hard for us 2-handed people to manage it, but if you got really dexterous feet, you could pull it off. Yeah. All right, so my week real quick. That's not the right chat. I keep my notes in my own chat. So
Oh, I
obviously,
got your notes. I hand wrote them down.
shut up. No, not those notes. My notes to myself.
Your specific notes.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So obviously, watched Moon Knight. We talked about that. That was really good, and talked about why I liked it and all that kind of stuff like that. I did get a few things in, and I want to talk about a TV show we watched. Or I'm sorry, a movie we watched today. I'll talk about that at the end. I got in the new Batman Beyond White Knight comic, the first issue. I think it's supposed to be a 3-issue run. Remember we talked about short runs of comics,
Right.
now they don't happen anymore. It looks like it's only going to be a 3-issue run according to the listings, so I'm really going to have to fight for it. I could not find it locally at all because I think I missed it by it was like it must have come out last month and I just wasn't paying attention. And being a short run, they're not going to do a lot. So I found it on Amazon, but they wanted like $16 for a single issue. And I'm like, fuck that. So once again, shout out to mycomicshop.com, which is actually based here in Texas. They did have the second, like the A cover, as it were, which is a pretty cool cover. You saw it. And
is that the one with the Brutes in the prison suit?
Yes, but did you notice that like he's got the Batman shadow behind him? Yeah. So I love Sean Murphy's artwork. I like the way he writes and everything else like that. So the Batman White Knight universe is my favorite Batman universe as it is, and now it's moved into the Batman Beyond universe, which is now.
Is this Terry McGinnis or Tim Drake Batman Beyond?
No, it's Terry McGinnis, but because
okay.
Does Tim exist in this? Yeah, Tim does exist in this one. I had to think about it because Jason Todd was brought in the last series for the first time, and this is all post everything. Like, there's no Robin anymore, nothing. So,
wow.
So
yeah,
Jason
one last time I read Batman Beyond, Tim Drake was
in the newer versions that they're doing. Yeah. Yes,
he got time traveled to the future or some crap and became Batman Beyond.
Yeah, that makes sense. But in this case, I don't know how they're going to do Terry McGinnis' story, if they're going to bother at all. Who knows? It might still work out the same way. But they've tweaked it because this universe is different. So we are still, many years on from even the Batman White Knight story. So we're now in Neo Gotham, and we're seeing the remnants of what was left over from the previous story with the Harley Quinn story, which I thought was actually really well done as well, if you never read it.
Nope. Okay. I've heard nothing but good things about the White Knight, but I've never read any of it.
So the last chunk of this story was following Harley and what was going on in her life post Joker, post Batman, and then new villain popping up with the Neo Joker and stuff like that. It was very interesting how they brought that together. But then also a brand new character, and I forgot what her name was, but she was pretending to be like this 20 or 30s black and white movie star, and they were killing other Hollywood type actors and actresses and stuff like that. It was like a really cool story, very psychologically driven because of the Harley Quinn story, and this is a post Joker Harley Quinn, so she's on track and all this stuff. I love what they do with the character. So we catch up very briefly with her and what's going on with her side story. We see what's going on with Bruce Wayne. I don't want to spoil a lot for anybody who's not read this comic. Do it. Just do it.
Did I spoil it by saying what the cover looked like?
No. It's not that big of a deal. So, but I will say they have already rewritten, because they had to, how Terry McGinnis gets the Batsuit.
So it doesn't line up with like the animated series?
No. The details are there. Like, what's his face? Powers or whatever. I forgot what his name was. He's still there. Powers. Yeah, that's his name. He's there, and he's the one actually telling Terry how to get the Batsuit. So
Powers knows about Batman?
Yes. Well, minor spoilers. Everyone knows about Batman in this. So, and also what happens with the GTO, which is their elevated like crime unit in this version, is interesting, and how Nightwing fits into that in this new future. And then of course we see where Jason Todd fits in and how he's going to do. And they teased in the actual comic that there is a new Red Hood White Knight comic coming as well that will tie into this. So they're gonna have like spin-offs with this. And I found what I did, minor spoilers for this one. So Jason Todd did go through most of what he went through in the previous existence, right? Because the White Knight universe kind of compiles every Batman story essentially into one universe.
Okay.
So he was the first Robin, kidnapped by Joker.
Second Robin.
Huh?
Second Robin.
No, I'm saying in this one he was the first.
Oh, there was no Dick Grayson Robin?
Dick Grayson was the second for him. So it was Jason Todd, then Dick Grayson. So Jason was captured and tortured by the Joker. However, the major difference is he didn't die.
Gotcha.
But he got to go off and do other things, and then he becomes resentful of Batman for a totally different reason.
Gotcha.
So, but he still takes on the Red Hood persona. But the teasers I want to show you is that now Red Hood has a Robin with him that we've never seen before. So it should be interesting. I'm very much interested in this, and they left off right at the very end on like a huge like what the fuck moment. And if this is only going to be a 3-issue run for this, it's like fuck. It's
you can't really like it's hard to trust those when they tell you ahead of time it's only a 3-issue run, because I remember when the Batman Who Laughs series was coming out, it was only supposed to be 4.
Yeah.
Then it jumped to 9, and then it dropped back down to 6, and then by the time it was done, it was like 7 or 8. Like it was really weird and convoluted how that.
Just the Batman Who Laughs by itself, I believe, was 7. Yeah. I think it was 7 ultimately.
But like at first it was announced as 4, and then it jumped up to like 9, and then it dropped back down, and then by the time it was done, it was more than what they said it was going to be. It was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I get they'll do that, but it's like, but I only saw listings for 3, like because they'll say it's 1 of 3, whatever. So we'll see.
How
what
are they
happens.
doing that now? Now you pay more attention to Lucy's than I haven't collected Lucy's in years. I go digital now.
Yeah,
but like with Diamond Select being out of doing that, how does it work now?
What do you mean?
Like I heard that Diamond Select isn't the national distributor of comics anymore.
I think it's just that they're going to smaller companies. It's just not through Diamond. Because the comics are still out there. That's not a problem. It's like everything's still available. If nothing else, it's more available because they're not playing games, especially if
they're not monopolized.
Especially if it's regional distributors, which actually makes it nice because the money goes further. So,
but I was just thinking more of maybe Diamond Select knew more ahead of time how many were actually going to be in it. Whereas
I don't think
having smaller distributors, they might not know as far ahead as they did.
I don't think it would affect comics now. I think it would have affected comics maybe last year, because I mean it's been a while since Diamond lost that, so we'll see.
Yeah,
but
either way, comics Lucy's like physical copies have gone up. With the COVID shutdown and everything, I think more people got back into it again.
Oh, dude, it has boomed. I'll tell you right now. I think there's something like 11 different Batman comics going right now.
Holy shit!
Yeah, I'm not joking, and that's just Batman. Because there's Harley Quinn ones, there's Joker ones, there's multiple Joker comics going right now. And then that's on top of Justice League and Superman and all the other stuff doing their own things. Not to mention
that gets to be too much.
Oh, it is. But I
remember it used to be Batman, then Batman and Robin had their own, and then Detective Comics was its own thing, and then Shadow of the Bat was its own thing.
They're still doing all of that, dude. They're still doing all that.
And they've added to it.
They're doing so many different Batman type stories. Well, because even when I was really buying a lot of stuff a couple of years ago, I picked up the whole Batman Sins of the Father short run, which was a pretty cool little run. I like how they did that. It was almost a Hush. It was like a very Hush type storyline. I actually like that. But yeah, no, they're doing so many different individual Batman stories. I like right now they're doing Batman 89 comics.
Yeah.
They're doing Batman animated series continuation comics, which is actually really cool. The adventure continues. I like that. That's a pretty neat thing. I'm not buying any of these things. I just see them. Because I would have to stop collecting other things to go buy comics again, basically, because the price has gone up for most issues.
Or conversely, you do them digitally, like I do.
Yeah,
I have every Batman from Detective Comics 27 all the way up until the beginning of the New 52. I have on one memory card in my tablet right now. I'm literally rereading through them again, and I'm in the middle of No Man's Land again.
I think that if if it was stuff I didn't care that much about, I probably would do that. But like for stories I really care about, I'm buying the physical copies, and then I'm going to buy the hardcovers when they're available too, just because it's
like
it's cool to have a hardcover library.
I have the compendiums and the graphic novel versions of like the main ones that I really love, and I even have novelizations of some of them. Like I have the Nightfall novelization written by Denny O'Neil. I've had it since I was a teenager. Like I still have it. And then I have all the, I have the 3 huge fucking Nightfall compendiums. I have those.
Dude, I almost bought the Spawn compendium the other day, like the first one. Like, because I have a lot of the first, like, 1 through 100. I've got probably at least more than a third.
I just reread all the Spawn's digital last year or the year before. Like, when the Kickstarter was firing up, I went through and reread them all.
Yeah.
And the digital one that I downloaded had from number 1 all the way up until Spawn killed God, I think. Wasn't it Spawn killed God? He was, like, on Earth. He became, like, an angel and shit like that for, like, a little...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember,
and I know that wasn't that long ago, but in real life,
it really was actually. It was actually a long time ago.
Yeah, because I know like eventually it killed Al Simmons, like he kills himself, and somebody else becomes Spawn, and then they brought Al Simmons back because nobody liked the new Spawn. I mean, they Jason Todd him is what they fucking did.
Well, they did because I mean, there's and now with King Spawn, there's all kinds of crazy shit going on. I don't know the story at all, but there's like so many different stories branched off from it, Gunslinger and stuff like that. I will say, like, the earlier Spawn runs I really liked because, like, even though it was a crazy batshit story, it was still one good story. I think after Spawn 100, after he killed Malbolgia and basically told Heaven and Hell to fuck off, that kind of changed things.
So when it's like, it seems about the time, what was it, Capullo left?
Yeah.
It's like
after Greg Capullo left, or Capullo.
Yeah. Greg Capullo.
Yeah. What did I say?
Eric.
Oh, I said Eric? Really? Weird.
Yeah. Eric or Derek or something. You didn't say Greg.
I don't know what I said. Either way. Back to things I got this week. I did get some Power Rangers figures. I would hold them up on camera, but apparently Discord does not like my camera being on today. I did get the...
is this the Lightning Collection?
It is Lightning Collection. I did, and I'm pretty sure these weren't supposed to be on the shelf yet because they wouldn't ring up, but I got a manager to override. Nice. So I got the Power Rangers Zeo Cog. That's one of their the bad guys from that section. So that's one of their the new version of the putty, basically. But the main thing that's good about the single Cog figure is that it comes with Rocky's weapons. So every other Zeo Ranger came with their weapons except for Rocky, who was the first one. So he didn't actually come with his proper Zeo weapons. So you have to buy the Cog to get those weapons.
Why didn't he come with his weapons?
Because back then they didn't know what they were doing. The head sculpt on that Rocky is fucking horrendous too. It doesn't even look like Steven Cardenas at all. Like, doesn't look like
who the hell
anybody.
Has them walking around with their normal heads on? Got to be helmeted.
There are people who do the non-helmeted ones. There's also people who buy Marvel Legends and swap their Ranger heads onto them to just give them a Ranger mode. But I also picked up the Wild Force Lunar Wolf Ranger. So that's the Silver Wolf Ranger. And since I just built that model kit for his Zords, it's pretty cool to get that one. Nice. And that was it Merrick, I believe his name was? But there's a weird controversy with this figure, and it comes down to Hasbro and their inconsistencies. Hasbro
doesn't do things correctly with their own products. Shut the fuck up.
So, yes, exactly. So there's there's 2 different continuity problems, or I should say
that's it? That's all you found so far?
Well, no, there are specifically only 2 issues with this particular release. Okay. He's got like gold stripes coming down his chest. Some of the figures have 5 gold stripes, and some of them, like mine, have 6 gold stripes. And it's kind of unknown as to which the actual image shows 6, so I'm pretty sure he's supposed to have 6. So some people get 5 gold stripes. And then
it's better than G1 Transformers, dude, because you found a picture that showed he had 6. G1, you'd have found him with 6, you'd have found him with 5, you'd have found him with 4 red ones and 1 blue one.
Yep.
I mean, it'd been all fucked up.
Well, here's the other issue. And this is just actual mistakes, not where Hasbro got lazy. Some of them have white boots and some of them have silver boots.
They just didn't paint them?
Or they did paint them. That's the thing. So the question is he supposed to have silver or white?
Is it
The
canon?
image on the back. Hold on, let me look here. So usually the image on the back is the quote unquote perfect version because it's like the render.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to have 6 stripes and silver boots. So mine has 6 stripes and silver boots. So in theory, mine is correct.
Uh-huh.
And I do like that they give you both versions of his weapon, both the regular sword and the kind of pool cue version for his sword, which that was always the fun part about his weapon, as he summoned his Zords by laying out a pool table. Like he swiped the air and it just turned into a big long green extension. He put his 3 crystals on there that contain his Zords. He'd pull back on his sword and hit him like a pool ball, and then they would bang around and then go summon the Zords. So
What the fuck?
why he
Okay,
had
give you a
that?
frame of reference.
Yeah,
Power Rangers, I stopped watching after Power Rangers, the Ninjas one, like shortly after the
yeah,
first movie.
season 2 basically.
Yeah, no,
Well, no, because I'm sorry, season 3 was Ninja, season 2 was Thunder. My bad.
nope, because you had Turbo.
No, well, no. I'm talking about these are very specific. These are very specific ones. So season 1 was regular MMPR,
Right.
the original 6. The ninja section.
Season 2 added the Green Ranger.
Well, no. Well, no, actually, technically, it was season 1. So how it's actually divided was all the Green Ranger shit, then the White Ranger shit, but that was Thunder. That was Thunder Zords when they got the White Ranger and all that kind of stuff, and Lord Zed showed up. So that's technically season 2, and then season 3 was the Ninja Rangers and stuff like that.
Right, with the flying dragon and the unicorn and all. Yes.
No.
Okay.
Actually, that's Thunder Zords. That's season 2. They had the ninjas had the ape, frog, wolf,
yes,
Falcon Zord, that kind of shit.
Yes,
so you're getting your season. Don't test my Power Rangers knowledge, motherfucker.
Oh, I'm not. I'm
like
just,
you and Batman. You and Batman is me and Power Rangers.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's as far as my knowledge goes.
Yeah. So
even that's fucked up. So I don't know anything. What you're talking about? Pool cues.
Dude, no. Wild Force.
Silver wolves with white stripes and purple stars. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
So Wild Force was interesting in its own right because it was the first time we got a fuck ton of Zords. Like they had, I think, ultimately when it was said and done, 20 Zords, something like that. And they could make a bunch of different Megazord combinations and shit like that. There was never really an Ultra Zord like there was in the early days, but that was one of the first times we got a ton of different swords and a lot of CG.
Okay.
So there was a lot of CG when it came to that stuff. But, it's all based on Sentai, so weird Japanese shit will bleed over. It has to into the Power Rangers versions. But what's funny is he's the sixth Ranger from this series, but he came out first. It's like we don't have the other Wild Force Rangers at all, but we got him first because he's the favorite, quote unquote. The other thing I definitely got was the April and Casey Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie 2-pack from Walmart. I did actually find that. It's a pretty awesome set. Actually, I haven't got a chance to really look at it up close, so I'm going to do that real quick on camera. And then, actually, I will have a members-only video where I unbox it for the first time. So it's actually pretty cool. So we've already gotten 2 Aprils, which is nice.
Hold on. You said a members-only?
On my channel, on the SHOKY
Is that
channel.
like an OnlyFans? Are you going to be naked while you open them?
I could be, but no. That's just, if I have any members, which I don't, they'll be the ones to see that video. But, I mean, it's pretty cool. It comes with extra stuff. Like, for some reason, it's got an extra Leonardo sword. I guess, if I remember correctly, like, he lost one in the first battle and Shredder just completely kicked the shit out of him. It does have, like, the drawing pencils. It's got a couple of April's drawings with Donnie in the truck and Leo, asleep in the chair and stuff like that. So, it's pretty cool. We get a slightly dressed down, if there is such a thing, Casey Jones, which I'm glad we got another Casey Jones out of it. And then April just in another outfit, which is really strange because she has the pinless legs, which is really strange looking because there's no pants or anything, so they are her just bare legs. And it just looks like she's got a big ass knee flap, which is kind of funny. But either way, I digs it. So I guess I'm gonna end up building out like a farmhouse type diorama with at least one set of my turtles and these guys. It comes into the thing I talked about before.
Are you gonna put Raphael in the tub though?
Maybe. could. But the problem I was about to say is, I discussed it before, NECA doing their own thing, their own scale makes it really kind of hard to find props and things like that in what is essentially 1/10 scale, or at least close enough. 1/12 is a hair too small, but if you don't care, like if you're using it for background stuff, it's one thing, but it's things that are interacting with them, it's a little difficult. However, I wanted to bring this up, because I wanted to do the scene where the kid, I already forgot his name, Danny, is talking to Splinter, where Splinter's like educating him on the history of the Foot Clan and whatnot like that. I was worried about trying to find a fence that would work for Splinter to be kind of strapped to. And I actually found something that might work, and it's actually a WWE figure playset thing, which is actually like the kind of like the Hell in a Cell thing, where it's basically the whole fenced off ring and stuff like that. But it's actually essentially, 6-inch figure chain link fence. So that might actually work out.
I've asked my friend Will, the one that I was talking about that lives there in Texas, because he builds dioramas and stuff.
Yeah.
He found this one time. It was some kind of, not grading, but it went to something that you could buy like a Walmart. Like, let's just make it up and say it was like the air conditioning filters or whatever.
Yeah. There is.
He found something that had this grading in it, and you cut it out and it looks just like 1/12 scale fucking chain link fencing.
Yeah, no, I've seen that stuff before, and you actually buy it like just in general. It's I've seen some people
not
use
chicken wire, but
it's what are they called? Vent hood grease screens, basically, is what they are.
Yes, yep. Grease screens. That's right.
I knew what it was. I already knew, but like, while it does work, you have to do all the work to build a fence out of it, right? This is literally a chain link fence, because it's literally like the Hell in the Cell shit, and it's all, it's also taller than the figures and all that kind of stuff.
I got you.
It's like $40 for the actual whole playset, and like I could probably, and if I stretched it out instead of making it a square, it could take up a whole wide billy shelf. And then like it even has a section where like you're supposed to be able to like rip through it and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm thinking about it, and I could spray it with proper paint so it looks a little bit more real than just crappy plastic. But it's just an interesting thing I might do. We'll see. I do have a BBTS order on the way. It was actually stuff I had in my pile of loot, and then something that I just had to go ahead and well, actually, it was something I had on pre-order, and then I canceled, and then I re-ordered it. And so
what was it?
It's a statue. So it's another Demon Slayer statue. So the first run of Demon Slayer statues from Figuarts Zero didn't go together. Like, it was just the individual figures. Like, they didn't have the Kizuna relation where like 2 or more statues technically can come together to be a diorama.
Right.
So I got the first run with Tanjiro and Nezuko, and they can go together, but they don't actually technically fit together. The new Tanjiro and Nezuko actually do. Like, you can literally just basically interlock them. And then also later on, I have things pre-ordered that's a fight scene from the movie, so that's going to have it. So I have a whole Naruto Billy over there, which is all my Naruto statues, which are done exactly like that. They are basically built dioramas together for their statue
like
sets.
The Thundercats one.
Yes. Like Iron Studios does.
One.
Yeah. But less purposeful, like, because you can kind of mix and match too, as long as they will literally kind of fit together. It's the bases that technically just interlock. They're yin yang style, but you can do up to 3, so they'll add a second intermediary piece, or sorry, I should say a third intermediary piece. So my Naruto shelf works out that way. So I'm basically going to have a Demon Slayer shelf out there in the hallway. Or if I redo things, my Halo Tolf will actually be out in the hallway, and then that will actually be in here. Because it's skinnier, and it'll probably be easier in the spot where it's sitting. Plus,
you can watch all the Halo show, really start to hate Halo from it, shut down your Halo Tolf, send me all the stuff that I don't already have, sell off the rest of it, and then put your Dragon Slayer stuff there.
First of all, fuck off. Second of all, Demon Slayer.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Okay, if for some reason I'm getting rid of my Halo stuff, since Arthur is no longer around and he was my other Halo buddy, it would go to you.
Nice.
At a cost though. I mean, it's not like I'm fucking tired of this, you know.
Speaking of Robert D, let me get the fan price, bro.
there might be a fan price, bro, but it wouldn't be because you'd be getting the collectible Xboxes. That's nothing you
can
can
keep those.
No, dude, you got to have them because they're all synced to each game. They're fucking beautiful with the matching controllers.
I don't need all that shit.
Yes, you do. It's
I'll
a great
take the
display.
controllers for displaying.
Dude, the actual consoles are gorgeous. Have you ever really looked at them? Like, especially
yes, I have. I used to have I had the Green Master Chief one
from 3
for PS. Yeah,
3.
Yeah. For Xbox 360.
Yeah,
I had that one.
So I've got that one up there, which that's the least attractive one.
I think you have it. You have the thing that I really like is the one where it was the Master Chief's helmet.
Yeah, that's the legendary edition. That's the legendary
that had
edition
like the
for 3.
game in it or whatever. Like
it had the game, and it had a buttload of accessories and behind the scenes stuff.
That's the one I really want.
No, that's mine forever. Sorry. Actually, you know what's really bad? I still haven't taken the Santa hat off of him from Christmas. he's still Santa Chief. He's been Santa Chief every year since I bought him. Every single year. Every single fucking year. Because he used to be in my living room. At my own place, he was in my living room, and I put the Santa hat on him and the little tiny not LED, but what's the other shit? Fiber optic tree would be right next to him with that. And with
that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
I love how like all of us like I can't say all of us, a lot of the nerds that I know, we all incorporate it somehow into the holiday stuff. Like you have Master Claus or Santa Chief.
Master Claus sounded weird, so that's why I went Santa Chief.
And then Bobby has a Batman.
He decorates for every holiday. Yeah.
Yeah, and he decorates it for the holidays. I have a Batman ornament.
Yeah.
That every Christmas I hide it in the big tree because we have multiple trees in the house.
Oh.
And I hide it somewhere in the big tree. And then it's like a game for my kids to see who can spot it, for who can find it first.
And you should move it around like Elf on the Shelf.
I do. Maybe? It's never in the same one. And I don't just leave it dangling there. Like it can be hidden. I've moved the branches up so he's kind of just peeking out through the branches.
Oh no shit. Yeah, it's just oh, now I hear it. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, y'all are getting the storm. We just had it earlier today. It was pouring over here.
I don't think it's the same storm, but yeah. But we knew it was going to storm eventually. Thank God it waited till now. But no, I can't hear it at all. That's the good. If I had my desk still facing the other way, I would be able to hear every bit of it through the mic. But now I'm facing this way. It's a little more muted.
Nice. But yeah, I do. It's not just hanging there. I mean, I hide them. Like I don't try to leave them out in the open. And then they get.
I heard that one.
And the rule is, no hands. They can't go grabbing the tree and moving stuff and shaking.
They got to find it visually.
They just have to be able to spot it. And it might be on the back of the tree. It might be at the top, the bottom. It might have other ornaments around it in front of it to block it. Yeah. But they have to just find it. So it became a game we do every year.
That's fun. When and if we'll probably do something like that. One thing we generally do, we don't always do it. Last couple of years kind of got lazy, is I tend to have a Gundam on top of the tree. I have my Christmas Gundam on top of the tree.
I think you showed me that.
You've probably seen it, or I posted it in the realm.
Of it. Yeah.
All right. So finishing out my week, we did watch a movie earlier today on Netflix before we went to attempt to have lunch with my mom. And it was called Charlie Says. And it's all about the Manson family and Charles Manson.
Oh, great.
So here's the weird part that threw me for a loop. There's some semi-famous people in it, including Kevin Bacon's daughter is one of the leads. I didn't really know that Kevin Bacon had a daughter.
Is her name Bits?
No. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't actually look up her name off the top of my head. But the funny thing is, like, you barely see, like, she doesn't look like her parents at all, from what I could tell.
Thank God, because Kevin Bacon is a doofy looking dude.
He's kind of doofy, but she doesn't look like Kira Sedgwick at all either.
Yeah, Kira Sedgwick's another weird one. I mean, she does look ugly, but they're weird. She was more attractive when they were both younger. They were both reasonably more attractive. Okay, yeah. So the part that's really strange is who plays Charles Manson in this. And it's Matt Smith. Matt Smith. Why do I know that?
Of name? Doctor Who fame. Also, what's his name? In Morbius. The other vampire in Morbius. He's Matt Smith.
I haven't watched Morbius yet.
I know, but Matt Smith made his.
Is Matt Smith the one who played the doctor with the mannequins episode?
No, that's Christopher Eccleston.
Nope. If you say so.
Yes.
Is he the one who played the Purple Man?
Nope, that's David Tennant. You're working your way up. He was the next one. Okay, did you see Terminator? What was the one? Was it Genesis? Yeah, Genesis.
I've seen them all.
The one with Emilia Clarke. The one where they're time hopping a lot through it.
Oh, where they try to reset it and they killed John Connor at the beginning?
Yeah. So the guy who kills John Connor and they discover is Skynet. That's Matt Smith.
Okay. Yeah. I know who you're talking about now.
But the funny thing is, Matt Smith always looks like Matt Smith or playing a version of himself no matter what he does. Like, his version of the Doctor is super Matt Smithy. As funny as that sounds. Okay. Even in Morbius, he looks the same. Same haircut, all that thing, same kind of mannerisms, just even the same accent. But to see him, long hair, full beard, going with kind of an American, almost hick accent, singing and everything like that throughout this movie was really strange. Like, he doesn't really transform into characters so much as he's just Matt Smith playing a character, or he makes the characters Matt Smithified, basically.
Gotcha.
So watching him play someone like Charles Manson was crazy, and he did his best to do the crazy eyes. The hard part for a normal person to capture is Charles Manson's helter-skelter look, as it were. The other thing is, the main star of this is one of the girls who was nicknamed Lulu, and she played Gilly on Game of Thrones, if you remember. You know her? So right off the bat, it's like, okay, we know her. And then actually one of the other stars was in one season of The Walking Dead, very briefly, and then a bunch of people that you probably never heard of. And then the guy who plays the Deep on The Boys was the main male killer out of the Manson family.
Okay.
So interesting thing. However, I'll tell you right now, half of the acting in this movie is god awful.
Trash.
And I don't know if it's on purpose, because it seems to be, because they're kind of jumping around a little bit. So they jump between what's happening, quote unquote, now, which is after they're in jail, 3 years after the murders. And then they're kind of retelling how they either got into the cult or how he programmed them. And in quote unquote modern day, it was someone had to be assigned to them to basically be a teacher. So it was one of the prison teachers who just comes in and educates the women and stuff like that in general, because they had gotten rid of the death penalty at this point, and these girls are basically on death row for fucking ever. They didn't know what to do with them. So they're like, well, let's at least teach them something. And so this woman goes in there and this is actually real life accounts, technically speaking. This is a real story. So she goes in there
based on actual events.
Yes. And so the three girls basically are left in a cell block by themselves to just be able to talk to each other all day long and basically just keep their nonsense going. So they kind of want to break it up a little bit by giving them real education. And then eventually it turns into deprogramming them.
Right.
So, but it seems like the flashback parts is when the acting is really bad. Like, it's almost on purpose. You know,
they might be, because they're not trying to glorify that or beautify what they did.
Well, it's also in the case of, like, sometimes it's specifically the girl that plays Gilly, forgive me for forgetting her name, where she basically is talking very flat, like having a conversation, but it's super flat, no inflections. And it's either because she's trying to hide something, like they get picked up by a hitchhiker right after they commit the murders. And they're trying to pretend they didn't just murder people. And then another time is when she calls her parents, and it's very robotic and not acting. But then the other scenes surrounding that scene, she's fine. So I can't tell if it's on purpose or really bad directing on the day, and they just had to use what they had. This is a very low budget film, by the way. Like
Hannah Murray is
Hannah Murray. Thank you. You know, it's not like I have a computer in front of me. You could have Googled it, but then again, you know, who knows? Discord might have just been like, no. But either way,
shut down and flip out.
Either way, decent story, and like you do get the Wilson brother who was who was a part of their cult there.
Dennis Wilson.
Dennis Wilson is there for a few times. And yes, this is I don't know, what is it when they're allowed to show full nudity? It's like the PG-13 or higher. I don't know what it's technically rated anymore.
Full nudity, like frontal nudity, like dicks and shit like that.
Well, there was
that's
female, full female, no male.
That's an R.
Okay, so it's at least R-rated. They do curse. There is nudity. There is sex technically, but it's like it's very PG sex. But there is one time where Charlie grabs Tex, as he eventually gets named, and basically teaches him how to go down on a girl. Because it's a big sex cult. Everybody's doing everything with everybody else. So interesting watch. At the beginning was hard to get through because the acting was so wonky. But like I said, if it was on purpose due to the situation, it makes more sense because it got better, and then eventually it just was fine. But I mean, it wasn't the best Manson movie / documentary.
Would you recommend a watch, or is this one of those if you got nothing else going on and nothing in your playlist?
Yeah, nothing else. This is not something you need to prioritize unless you just really like that shit. But what I found out that was interesting about it is I didn't realize how they escalated to what they were doing, how they got from just a ever-loving 60s cult to now it was very much Fight Club. You know how Fight Club started out as a fairly innocent thing and then turned into Project Mayhem? That was very much what happened here, and they really tried to center it around the fact that he got rejected for an album recording.
Yeah.
And it's like, I never knew the details of it. So I knew that it was crazy. I knew what happened. I knew who got killed and whatnot like that. I knew how brutal it was. But also the fact that he just started killing people at random. They're like, these people are home. They're in a rich neighborhood. We're going to fuck with them. This is where I said it's like Project Mayhem. They would go into the house while people were sleeping and then rob them of just their cash, and then just set their house up all kinds of strange, turning the furniture around, stacking stuff in a weird way. So they just wake up to a random fucking scene in their house and their money's gone. And then immediately went to murder. It was like, okay, they're like, okay, we proved that we can break into someone's house and be like ninjas. And then
I've watched whole things on Charles Manson before because I'm a big history nut, and I like to watch documentaries and stuff. And I've watched one on him, and like, he was like friends with Sharon Tate and Roman Polanski.
Well,
like,
see, that was the thing that they didn't.
He'd been to their house like a couple times for like dinner parties and shit. Like, he knew them.
Well, see, this is the weird. That's what this movie doesn't do then, because it shows them as being total strangers to them, and it was random that he killed them because he was actually after the guy who fucked over his record deal.
Yeah, because he was supposed to be at Polanski's house for some.
Well, because it was his house initially. So he went there because he knew it was that guy's house, but then the Tates were there and he had moved and they didn't know. And then they said they invited him in. He's like, well, if you knew him, you're a friend, you want to come in and join us? He's like, no, thanks. And then next thing you know, he's going there and sending them in to kill him. And then, dude, that they didn't show the whole murder, but they definitely showed her murder right at the end. But I mean,
I don't know if it's this one, but there was one Charles Manson movie recently that they said it was intense. Like, they do like the whole like red wedding type murder of Sharon Tate.
It's bad. It's real bad. They didn't show the whole thing, but they showed him the initial slash across her face and then her on the ground and like stabbing her. But they killed the previous people they started killing, they showed a lot more of their deaths. Even to the first time that Lulu killed someone, like she had just kind of been along for the ride, but not done it. And she had like a freak out, and then they put a bayonet in her hands, and the woman had already been stabbed, but wasn't quite dead. And then they had her just stab the fuck out of her until she was bloody. They used a whole lot of chocolate syrup on that shot. So, but
all the Hershey sauce.
Yeah, exactly. But either way, I wish they had told it from one point of view or the other. The back and forth was getting kind of annoying because they've like build up enough stuff for the in prison scene, and then in a very nonchalant way just go right back to the past. It would have worked as a series, I think, not as a movie. This is one of those cases where letting it breathe would have been better. But it also seems like it would have been very Book of Boba Fett-y. It's just very, very weird with the flashbacks. It's like, I kind of would have been cool, like, if it was a lot of the current prison situation, and then at the end, they did the thing where they're, like, giving the update on what happened to all of them in prison. Like, one became a full-on born-again Christian, one died of brain cancer, one I forgot what they said about the other one. Of course, they were in prison for the rest of their lives. They never got out, obviously.
Yeah,
much
they got
like
switched to life without parole.
yeah, because they abolished the death penalty right before they went in, so they couldn't kill them. So either way, interesting watch, but I wouldn't call it thing. It was just we couldn't decide on what to watch, and we didn't have that much time this morning, and we didn't want to get too in depth on something. There was a couple other series we wanted to watch that we didn't quite get into. There was another game show that the wife started watching yesterday.
I'm gonna tell you. I think you and your wife should watch Ghosts. I think y'all would like it.
Well, it's on Paramount. We don't have it. You know how you don't want to pick up another app to watch something? Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, you forgot to add. You're going to watch a suggestion from us now.
Well, it's Joe had told me about it a long time ago to watch it, and I didn't know how to spell it. So the only reason why it's in my Netflix
right is because I spelled it for you?
Yep.
I literally spelled it, yeah.
I promise you, I copy and pasted it from there into Netflix.
Do you know why I know how to spell it? Because I spelled it wrong for so many tries. Doing Google searches myself.
The
Gurren Lagann.
I'm going to say it wrong. Grand Login or whatever.
It's Gurren Lagann.
Yeah, that thing.
You can say say it like log on or Lagan. So if you want to put some sauce on it, it's Lagan.
I feel like that's racist if white people try to put that sauce on there like that.
Well, here's the other thing. Are you going to watch it subbed or dubbed?
Mike was saying I should watch it in original Japanese.
Yeah, do not watch the English dub of that one. I mean, like, you're good at reading. You'll be fine.
Am I?
Well, apparently you're a bibliophile and have to inform all your neighbors.
This has. But there's where my weirdness runs in. If I'm reading, I want to read a fucking book.
I know.
If I'm watching TV, I'm not trying to read. So, I mean, I'll do it. I can do it. It's just I don't enjoy it as much because I spend more time reading the words than actually watching what's happening.
A lot of people make that argument, but realistically, after a little while, it just becomes second nature. You read so quickly that you don't miss anything. I grew up watching captions.
I'm going to do it just because I've heard, like I said, now years worth of Joe talking about how awesome it is, and Bobby talking about how awesome his collection is that he has of them, and then
Joe is jealous. I've got something Joe wants. Yeah, I've actually got the core drill from that show.
Okay.
I mean, you'll find out episode 1. So it's the Proplica version of Simone's core drill. Oh, that's the thing. The reason you want to watch it in Japanese is because they say the character's names wrong in the English dub. So in the English dub, it's Simon. And it's not. It's Simon. It's like, but it would sound weird just coming out of it, like, and because they also whine, which is so funny. Why is it the dub versions always have a weird whine when they do something? I guess it's just trying to match mouth flaps or something. Mm-hmm. It's a weird situation. I've noticed that more often than not. They like elongate vowels and other things they don't need to, I guess, just to match things, and it usually comes across as whiny. But everything is better. Everything is significantly better about the thing. But it's a fun watch.
That's gonna be on my list of things to watch now. That you gave me the proper spelling. I went and added it immediately, took a screenshot, sent it to you guys, showing you guys it is added to my list. It's officially there now.
Where are you watching it at, or where is it set up?
It's a Netflix.
Okay. Well, was it both seasons?
I don't know. I didn't pay that much close.
Okay, because originally they only had the first season on Netflix, so we'll see what happens. I think it said it had 2. I think it had, when you sent us the picture, I think it said 2.
You keep talking. You keep going with your thing.
Okay. Well, I was going to lead into the one of the main topics we didn't get to last week. Since Mike's not here, we're not going to talk Morbius because Rikki here has not seen it. However, we did also want to talk about Sonic 2, which we all basically saw. Even though Rikki
real
technically
quick, it's only
slept.
1 season.
Okay, so you'll have to find the second season somewhere else.
Nope, it better be good enough in 1 season. I'm not downloading shit.
No, the part that sucks is that the season break is a big fucking cliffhanger, and all the insane
28 episodes on that 1 season. So,
dude, no, they're full seasons. Like, they don't pull punches. They put all that shit out there, dude. They're big seasons. This is one reason why I recommend watching the movies instead, because they're less of a time crunch. But if you can't find those, then it is what it is. In theory, they're out there somewhere on one of the streaming services. I would say check either HBO or or Amazon, maybe, to see if they have a link somewhere.
Hulu has a lot of anime stuff on there.
I think I watched it on Hulu before. Hulu does have a kind of a thing with Crunchyroll, so that might be what it is. If nothing else, I know you don't want to get another thing, but Crunchyroll does have 14-day free. Actually, no, I take that back. You can watch Crunchyroll for free with commercials.
Oh, okay.
So you can watch anime with commercials if you don't care, because they put them in the right breaks too. It's not like they because
baby steps, Shoki.
I'm just saying, asshole.
One episode.
I'm just saying, unlike other versions, Crunchyroll has a free service that you can watch.
Okay, baby steps. Let me get through season 1, episode 1 before we go worry about what I'm gonna do about season 5, episode 27. And
season 5, episode 27. God damn! If you were only 27 episodes in season 5, you're basically Sherlock. Even that's not 27 episodes. That's season 5. Or season 4 of Sherlock, you only have...
Talking about the English show?
Yeah, 13 episodes.
If that, because they're...
No, it is only 13. It's 12 with 1 bonus.
Yeah.
Believe me, I know. Because I sat there and fucking waited the almost 5 years from season 2 to season 4.
I still go back and rewatch those sometimes.
Dude, Joe brought it up. Joe brought it up the other day on Nerd Rage, and I immediately messaged him. I was like, you have to fucking watch the BBC Sherlock.
Because they're amazing. Because they're movies. They're not TV shows.
Movies.
Each one's its own movie. They're an hour and a half long.
It's a trilogy. It's a trilogy series, and I love it. And I know season 3 and season 4 were a little bit wonky, but I still love them.
They were great.
Yeah.
I love what they did with Moriarty in them.
Yeah. Oh God, Moriarty. Nobody else ever needs to play Moriarty. That guy got it. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, and even playing Moriarty after there's no Moriarty is fantastic.
All right, so let's not get off into another rabbit trail.
We're not getting off into no other rabbit trails. Sonic 2. So I still didn't do my review of it, so this will be a slight preview of my review of Sonic 2. So I saw it. I went with the wifey last weekend to go watch it, and you technically went to go watch it.
We went the weekend before? Or
no,
the same
it opened.
weekend, I think
yeah. So I saw it Saturday. You saw it Sunday.
We saw it Sunday because we saw it after baseball tournament.
Yeah.
So... yeah, I didn't see all of it. I saw the first 20, 30 minutes of it, and I saw the last 20, 30 minutes of it because my old soft ass fell asleep because I was tired because I'd gotten up at 5 o'clock that morning to drive everybody down to Orlando for a baseball tournament while they got to sleep in the fucking car both ways.
Yeah.
So,
but of what you did see,
it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome. And then my kids flipped the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
They loved it. Like my oldest, like, freaked out at the mid-credit scene. Like, he knew exactly who it was, what it was, and so the whole ride home in the car from the theater, he's just running it all down to me again. And bless his soul, and I love him so much. But when he gets into something, no matter how much he knows that you know about it, he talks to you like you don't know shit, and he knows everything about it.
Yeah.
So he starts. A nerd. So Sonic's the blue guy with spikes who I'm like, dude, I will slap you in your fucking mouth. What do you think you're talking? You know, like, you need to relax.
But
just
don't you know?
Tell me the movie.
But Dad, Sonic's brand new. It just came out a couple of years ago.
Yeah. I'm like, how do you fuck do you think you know about Sonic? That's my games you were playing.
It's not like Sonic's been around for 35 years.
Yeah. Jackal, I love him. I love him though.
Yeah.
I love the fact that he does it. But man, sometimes I'm like, if you were a grown ass man and weren't my kid, I'd punch you dead in your fucking mouth sometimes.
I will say, be happy you slept through the dumbass human parts of that movie.
I heard everybody said, even my wife said it was better than the first one. She said this one was better than the first one.
I will say the first one was overall better, but I liked more of what happened in this one. I will say that Jim Carrey in this one was turned up to 11. Apparently that was by direction. They did
he got to go full Jim Carrey in this.
No, he went Jim Carrey plus 2. It was crazy. No, well, apparently what was told is that seemingly everybody thought that, or the studio thought that what people enjoyed about the first one was the jokes and potty humor and stuff like that. So that's the kind of stuff they turned up to 11 and not quite all of the character development stuff. But they still did that throughout this movie. They really did. So we got Tails teased at the very end of the first movie. And then, of course, they bring him into this one in the same manner. They use the same scene and all that kind of shit, but gave more context to how and why Tails showed up. Which, the only thing I thought that was strange about that was that he somehow had invented all this technology on his home planet, which allowed him to watch Sonic on Earth. I was like, okay. The other problem I had with this movie that was never explained was how anyone else had the transportation rings.
Right.
That's the only thing that didn't
And
make any
the one
sense.
thing I didn't get that I noticed is he was using them a lot for silly shit. And I
Yes,
thought they made a big deal in the first one about him having a very limited quantity and
they
not
did.
being wasteful with them. But in
Exactly.
this one, he was like, oh, I want a slushie. Boom. He'd fucking use a ring to run down to 7-Eleven and come right back instead
Yeah.
of actually just running down there and stuff.
That was the other thing I hated about this movie versus the first one. They slowed Sonic down by a lot.
Mhm.
Like there was no reason that Sonic couldn't run to almost every destination. There was
Yeah.
no reason he
Because
had
like
to
in the first
ring.
one, he ran from where were they in Washington or whatever? He ran
Yeah.
all the way down to freaking San Francisco and back again in like 10 seconds. It was crazy.
Well, yeah, because he ran to San Francisco, looked around, but he realized he didn't know what he was looking for and came back.
Well, there was the one where he like when he first met up with the cop, where he ran all the way to the ocean.
Well,
And
he
came
ran
back,
to the
remember?
ocean and back, which was like, I think Matt Pat figured out roughly where they were at. And I think he basically ran something like 300 miles and came right back.
And it took
In
him
an
like 10
instant.
seconds.
No, not even.
Yeah.
It took him in movie time, I think 3 seconds. So he
Mhm.
was already capable of running like I think they said something like 1,000 miles an hour with no
Yeah,
effort
something crazy.
whatsoever. And
Mhm.
they slowed him down in this movie. Like they did a few scenes where he was definitely using his like super fast speed and jumping from
Mhm.
things and a little slow motion stuff, but it's almost like they introduced slower characters, so therefore Sonic had to be slower.
For
But
them
then
to keep up.
but then they turned around and actually made Tails and Knuckles as fast as Sonic in at least the final battle scene.
Yeah.
But that just
And
means
speaking of which, you talk about Knuckles, best
yes,
part of that movie,
he was.
Knuckles.
Now
And Idris Elba doing his voice.
yeah.
Oh my God, perfect. It was amazing.
What was funny about it is there's been other portrayals of Knuckles that just made him a serious character, but not a doof at the same time.
Mhm.
And I actually really appreciated that. Um, but I think where it went weird is where they definitely told him to just do a doofy comment or something like that.
Mhm.
Especially at the end, at the very end scene where they were playing baseball or whatever. It's like he was
It just
getting
seemed more he was like a punch drunk ex boxer is
yeah.
what he kind of reminded me. He reminded me
But
of somebody who'd been punched in the head a fucking
yeah,
lot over the years.
but compared to when he first arrived and they
Mhm.
first fought, he was
Mhm.
very super serious and knew exactly what he was doing. And then I guess once he quote unquote had friends, he became really dumb. And I get that he has
Yeah,
no
like the
concept of
baseball scene at the
friendship.
end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like a really big fish out of water compared to the others. At least
Mhm.
Tails has some context because he's been watching Sonic on Earth for however long. It's slightly creepy. Um,
Mhm.
and the other problem I had with this essentially was Tails. Every other scene is like just straight up. Well, that's just like Sonic the Hedgehog. It's just like, bro.
That's my Sonic.
Yeah, it's like, dude, you've literally actually known him for roughly 6.5 hours, and you're like full on hero worship. Now, what I expected them to do was give Sonic a weird, inflated ego because he now
Mhm.
has this weird worshiper. But they didn't
Mhm.
go that route with it because then he just basically turned Tails into his surrogate son, even though he is definitely a kid in and of his own self, which they make very clear in this. Now, I liked a lot of what they did. I did like a lot of the humor. The weird Russian dance-off scene was absolutely unnecessary.
I
Um,
slept through that. I don't
be
know what
be
you're talking about.
grateful. It was really stupid, like absolutely stupid, completely unnecessary. Though I will say the wedding stuff in Hawaii was more necessary than the Russian dance-off scene at all. Um, but I liked the Indiana Jones, like we gotta find the thing, we gotta follow the map
Mhm.
and all this stuff. Although it seemed like there was gonna be more steps involved, it was literally two. The silly thing I
Mhm.
thought was funny. I liked the idea of the echidna slash owl war that led to
Mhm.
them taking the Master Emerald away. I thought it was interesting that they just immediately said, okay, look, the Chaos Emeralds were fused together to make one Master Emerald, and we didn't
Mhm.
bother with having the other ones until later in the movie. So I liked what they did there. But the emeralds were tiny. Like, I assume you saw near the end where they actually
yeah, and I saw where they put it back together to the big one or whatever.
Well, the weird thing is when they put it back together, the Chaos Emeralds themselves were gone, so that was just the remnants of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because they did basically like, and I even said this in the theaters, like, oh look, there's the Dragon Balls. So there's 7 Chaos Emeralds. It's the 7 Chaos Emeralds. When they're done using them, they all spin off and then shoot off into the sky. I was like, it's the fucking Dragon Balls. Now I got to go find them. And now that I think about it, that's kind of what happened in the games. You had to go find all 7 of them, and then once you did, you were more powerful. And yes,
I like the hypersonic, the god
supersonic. Supersonic was done really well. I also really liked Robotnik's giant mech that he put together while he was still Chaos Emerald empowered. What did you think of if you saw enough of it and you said you fall asleep, his sidekick was utilized a little bit more, Agent Stone or whatever they called him.
Or the Indian guy?
Yeah.
Didn't see him at all till the very end when he pulled his mask down. I was like, where did he come from? And didn't care. My wife was like, you slept through that part.
You slept through that part. So he had stayed in the town and opened a coffee shop because he was good at making lattes in the first one. But he also had the whole like secret spy gadget shit where the whole coffee shop was actually a Robotnik base for whenever he returned.
That's awesome.
So, in the trailer where it shows the egg satellite dropping the thing down and then Robotnik steps out of it, that's not what happened. Robotnik comes back and then he summons that thing and it comes down bringing more robots with it, and it allows him to get a new wardrobe and acts as a mobile base. At that point, is really what happens. That's how you get like the egg car and stuff like that. What I find really funny is that Jim Carrey said in the 3rd movie, I want fat Robotnik. Jim Carrey himself.
I was surprised he didn't have the fat suit on in this one.
Dude, actually, you know what's funny? They had the reference. They had the reference to it. So whenever he was he needed to come back and get a new outfit, right? So he's in there and he's scrolling through outfits to put on, and the classic Eggman, yellow and red and black pants and fat suit and all that with the suspenders, that was one of the outfits.
Nice.
But what I found really strange is that the Robotnik symbol is the classic Robotnik head, including the crazy mustache, but he didn't have the crazy mustache till now. So I think that's supposed to be a reference to...
Yeah, like a little nod, Easter egg type thing.
Well, no, I think because of the mid-credit scene with Shadow, who was supposedly made in the lore by Robotnik's grandfather, initially.
Maybe he was the fat one.
I think that logo comes from him. Like, that's just the thing eventually, which I think, because in some of the lore, Dr. Eggman versus Dr. Robotnik is actually a generational thing. It's not the same character, technically speaking. But the idea that they're bringing in Shadow next time seems kind of forced, but it was the only next step they were going to do.
What else were they going to do? You know what I mean?
I think because they jumped to Knuckles in this one, where Knuckles was in 3, originally. I think that's why they had to do this. But a Sonic and Tails movie with no other extra thing to fight against was going to be difficult. But Knuckles being super powerful was great. But you know what I wanted to see? I wanted to see him do the glide.
Yeah, I was going to say the gliding thing.
Yeah, because that was actually a big joke in another thing where I think it might have been Death Battle or something like that. I can't remember. Where it was Sonic runs away and then Knuckles is like, like trying to do the same thing, but he can only do it a little glide at a time. But in this one, they just made Knuckles able to run super fast, which he could run fast, but nowhere near like Sonic and Tails. Like in Tails was sort of close. But I liked how in the first
Tails
one...
wasn't really running. He was gliding with his tails.
Well, no, Tails was running flat out. He did, though. He did. Dude, the butt copter joke was actually funny.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. That was funny.
I missed that one.
Yeah, well, actually, the nod to... Or it wasn't even a nod. The actual voice actor for Tails, playing Tails, was great. Having the new guy who plays... Sonic in the movies, Ben Schwartz, is good.
Yeah, I love him like in Parks and Rec. He's one of my favorites.
See, I've never seen Parks and Rec, but I know him from other things. But it's funny because I mean they could have
Space Force. He's good in that too.
Because they could have easily used Jaleel White. It's not like he's not doing anything, you know. But maybe his voice just isn't that radical anymore, as it were. Because he voiced all of the cartoon Sonics for a long time.
Sonic X, Sonic Underground. Yeah. He did all those.
Dude, do you remember the 2 different Sonic cartoons that aired. One of them was actually really fucking well done, and the other one was garbage, but they were on simultaneously.
One was like almost 3D rendered, and the other one looked like somebody drew it in their basement.
Oh, I don't even mean that. I mean, one was like a super kiddie version, and this is all before Sonic Underground, but like they had the one that was actually realistic and gritty and dark, and like, yeah, that was the good one. But then you had the other one that was like, gotta go fast. You know, that was stupid. And then Sonic Underground was weird, but not terrible, and I liked that it all took place.
That's one where they added like the girl,
the brother and sister. Yeah, the brother and sister. Yeah. Which I will argue is still better than Silver.
They'll probably bring them out in the next one.
They will. They'll somehow bring out Silver. I was like, look, keep the core cast we have, because they're gonna have to fight Shadow. Don't bring in another uber powerful hedgehog. It was like, give us a reason. We got to see Shadow doing chaos control. We got to see that, because that's important. The fact that he can use chaos control independently and Sonic can only barely make Supersonic happen with all 7 Chaos Emeralds. So, but that means the Chaos Emeralds have to be.
What I'm saying is, instead of introducing Silver, they can introduce the brother and sister in the next one.
Oh, well, I don't know, because that might be a little weird. That's not off the cuff random. They're trying to keep it within the game's lore for the most part. They weren't involved in any games at all. Oh, I'm pretty sure they'll bring in Amy though, and I'm okay with that. And she's an okay character. She's a good foil, but like it seems like they're gonna have to do a lot of world building to get there. And I'm okay with having less and less human characters as it goes on, because, I mean,
they're the worst part of the movie.
They are the worst part of the movie. It adds a little bit of heart to it, but also
I don't like all this taking our cartoon stuff and trying to force it into real world with real people. Like, the Tom and Jerry was okay. I watched it with my kids, the movie they just made it last year or whatever.
Oh yeah,
the cartoon part, they were the best part, but the human parts were the worst part. The Smurfs, human parts were the worst part.
What was what was the Sonic cartoon that it was basically an anime where he was here on Earth, and like there was the one dude who was a cop who thought he was fastest cop, and like Sonic actually blew past him in his ultra fast car.
You got me beat.
That was an interesting show to begin with. Like it covered all the bases. Like it was one of the more modern ones. That one wasn't bad at all, but it was definitely an anime.
But like the chipmunks with the live humans.
That one always was. The chipmunks one was weird because they were chipmunk sized, unlike the series where they were, weird little humanoid alien creatures, which made no sense. But it has gotten late, at least to some degree.
I know your wife's probably ready for bed. Y'all have had a very long and
it was a long day that was very, very unplanned. But at least we still managed the podcast.
This way, though, man, we had some good laughs. I found out what a fucking hoovie it is.
Yeah. Well, there's some silly things. I mean, one of these days we should sit down and talk about Firefly in more depth too.
God.
But here's the thing. I think maybe we should save our kind of favorite sci-fi shows or properties, and just like we each do a different one, and we'll just go through it that way. Because there's a lot of crossover, especially. So that would be a lot of fun. And we've already tipped into a lot of those things, both with Firefly, Doctor Who, Star Trek, Star Wars, Hitchhikers.
But knowing how me and you talk and think, this isn't even the tip of the iceberg.
No, it's true. It's very true.
Hours on Hitchhiker's Guide. I know you can do the same thing with Whovians.
Yeah, Doctor Who. Oh, dude. Well, because I've rewatched the series so many times, and I rewatched it with the wife after watching it over and over myself repeatedly.
I'm gonna go watch Hitchhiker's Guide movie tonight when we get done. Now,
I don't have time technically, but I would otherwise. I might watch it tomorrow though.
Oh, I'm off tomorrow, so I'm definitely got time.
I'm trying to remember if I got the wife to watch it. I don't remember. If I'm honest, I don't remember if the wife has watched it with me. So guys, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button depending on where you're at. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe. We can get more. Actually, I got a guy to subscribe last night at the birthday party, so he was interested, and I gave him a brief description and he subscribed. So shout out to Solomon if you actually hear this. And then of course, if you are listening on any other podcasting whatever, rate us. Do whatever, let us know what we're doing. And if you want to contact the show, send us in questions to talk about shit, by all means do so at NowYouMadeItAwkwardMail@gmail. Don't just be spam emailing. Actually, give us a thing. I'm just one of these days, I'm just waiting for Billings. That's just I'm just waiting for Billings at this point, but I don't want to be like, hey,
one of his random questions.
Yes, exactly. Because he throws out some really, or we need Paul C as well. Paul C.
Yeah, I was gonna say Paul C with his rapid fires would be awesome.
Yeah, Paul C's got some good stuff too. So basically, we just need some of the Nerd Rage crew to just also listen to this podcast, or not Nerd Rage crew, Nerd Rage fans. Sorry, Nerd Rage fans to listen to this podcast as well. And also shout out to the Realm because it's the only place I tend to share it. So if you're listening to this from the Realm, what up? Also, shout out to Matt H for actually leaving us a comment.
You gotta say it right, dude. You can't just say Realm and let
I
it go.
can indeed.
No, you cannot. That's why I'll never say your Gmail. I can do it.
I can do it however I want, Ricky. Either way. Also,
you sounded like Mike right there for a second.
I know. I can do voices as well. Mike does better accents. I can do voices. But also, guys, make sure you subscribe to anything on the SHOKY side if you want to do that. It's all linked down below. Same thing for Mike, the Comic Relief Crusader. Hopefully, he will make his own thing. He wasn't here to be able to plug any of his videos. He did put out a couple videos, including doing a particular live stream that he actually called Embarrassment, where he was basically talking about stuff that was annoying him. So it's pretty interesting. I didn't get a chance to catch it live, but I watched it almost immediately after. So if you're remotely interested in what he does over there, by all means, go check out Mike's channel. He's over 200 some odd subscribers. Go check that out. And then, if you subscribe to any SHOKY stuff, that's fine. And then
also check out NRR. If you send them any messages or anything like that, tell them Ricky sent you. You won't get nothing fucking for it, and I won't get any kind of bonus, but I just want to hear Bobby and Chris bitch about how they got a bunch of emails with my name in it for no reason.
It's like Ricky sent you, not SHOKY sent you. Ricky sent you. Yeah, that's fine.
Ricky sent you.
See, at least
SHOKY, they'll believe you and they'll talk normal. But if you say Ricky sent you.
Hey, shout out to is it Dante that runs a Facebook? He actually Dante followed us back on Facebook.
Nice.
After the shout
Dante's awesome. So, I love Dante. Me and him just had a great conversation this morning about Easter. He's a good dude.
We may have to Skype him in one day. That'd be fun. I don't know if he's down for doing podcasts that way, but it's all good. But guys, we will see you next week. And
bye.
Remember, okay, bye. We'll have an outro one day.
No, I like the bye.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats.